The following is brought to you by the Social Suplex Podcast Network.
Yo, this is Rich Latta from One Nation Radio. This is brought to you by the Social Suplex Podcast Network. We present to you the Ace of Podcasts, Keepin It Strong Style. Let's go. It's the Ace of Podcasts, Keepin It Strong Style. Covering New Japan, they ready to hold it down. Jeremy Donovan and the young boy Josh. Come and hit a job out and bury all the frauds. From the Tokyo Dome over to the G1. Social Suplex is the network where we can get it done. I'ma chill and let them have it, cause this is just an intro. Keeping the strong style, 6 stars from the get-go, boy. Yeah, from Tampa Bay to the Tokyo Dome, this is Keeping It Strong Style with your hosts, Jeremy Donovan and the young boy Joshua Smith. And thank you for listening.
Welcome to Keeping It Strong Style on the Social Suplex Podcast Network. Jeremy Donovan alongside the young boy Josh Smith. And this week we have a special guest joining us, James Boyd from One Nation Radio. How you doing, James?
Doing all right, man. I guess I've been putting this off long enough. I guess you guys finally got me over here, so let's do it.
We got you. So on today's show, we're going to be covering the road to Sakura Genesis, as well as all the latest news in the world of New Japan Pro Wrestling. Make sure you support the Social Suplex Podcast Network by subscribing on the podcast app of your choice and leaving a rating and review. You can also get all the podcast archives along with our columns at socialsuplex.com. Go to socialsuplex.com/subscribe to sign up to get the podcast and columns delivered directly to your email inbox. All right, James, since you're first time on Keeping It Strong Style, we want to know who is your favorite New Japan wrestler and your favorite New Japan match and how you got into watching New Japan.
Yeah, I'd have to say my favorite wrestler is Okada. Yeah, it's probably above me. Probably since day one, the first time I ever saw anything from New Japan was Wrestle Kingdom 9. And yeah, he immediately stuck out to me as a star. Don't get me wrong, Ta-Nehashi's incredible. The Ace is still Ace, but it kind of stuck out to me for his smoothness. My favorite match all time for New Japan, I probably have to say AJ versus Nakamura.
That's a good one.
Yes,
that's a good one.
I love that match to death. I've only seen it once because I don't want to ruin it. I've seen.
You won't ruin it. Trust me.
I'm just you just want to kind of remember how it was.
Leave the memories alone.
Yeah, you don't want to go over too much because kind of you remember so much of it that it kind of ruins the feeling of it and kind of feel I remember this turn in that twist. So but I would say that one.
Nice.
Yeah.
So it seems like Wrestle Kingdom 9 has been the jumping off point for most Western fans.
Yeah.
That whole promote. The one good thing Jeff Jarrett did right, that whole promotion of that event.
You don't like Dancing with My Baby or whatever that song is?
With My Baby Tonight.
With My Baby Tonight?
I like when Pritchard sings it.
Oh my god.
Bro, we'll be here in the apartment and all of a sudden I'll just hear Jeremy, gonna be with my baby tonight. I'm like,
oh my god.
I actually haven't heard it in so many years. I forget how it even goes.
Yeah.
But I'm just this is terrible.
Yeah, Pritchard sings it every episode.
You're absolutely right. It is terrible.
And
but I would say honestly, if it wasn't for knowing this guy next to me, Josh, for putting over Japanese wrestling for so many for the couple years that I'd known him before that show ever popped up, I don't think I would ever really gotten into it. But it's kind of like a word of mouth thing, and he was a huge champion for that. And I think me and Rich both owe you a dedication for that, because when you watch, we won at the time, we weren't smart fans at all. We were just watching the TV product or whatever else, and then we come run around you and we're talking or whatever, and then you start telling us stuff. And I'm okay, yeah, sounds good.
You guys got to see this UWF Akira Maeda match. It's incredible.
Dude, okay, whatever else. We're good with this. I mean, I don't, for lack of a better word, WWE is like McDonald's. We're good with this McDonald's right here. Okay, it's fine.
This Big Mac's.
It does its job. And then we saw and then we saw Nakamura Ibushi, and then Okada and Tanahashi, and we're just yo, what is this? Is this even how do we never what have we been doing with our whole lives? Is everything a lie?
Do you remember a time when we used to think that and you specifically used to say if it didn't happen in WWE, it can't be match of the year because that's the minor leagues.
Did I say that?
You used to say that, and now you would never say that nowadays.
Well, I think it was. I mean, I guess it's just a flat out. If I did say that, I guess it's flat out ignorance.
Well, because you're like I'm not watching minor league wrestling.
Oh yeah. I did say that kind of stuff. Like you talk about. No, actually, I don't think it was Japan as much as it was like this stuff on the Indies. Period. Right. And I'd be like, so you tell me about stuff that happened on Ring of Honor and stuff. Like, look, dude, I understand that like AJ Styles and Samoa Joe and Bryan and Punk had like these 5-star matches elsewhere. Like, however, like
right.
I've seen TNA from time to time, and like that's fucking horrible. I would never actually in my right mind sit down to watch that stuff at that time. Like I remember Rich would tell me about like, yeah, man, so like they're doing this thing called the Aces and Eights. They're like a biker gang, and then like he would give me like kind of like progress reports, and all of a sudden like one he was like, dude, like remember Bubba Ray Dudley? Like he's like, yeah, Bubba Ray Dudley was like. In the story, in this Ace and Ace thing, he got his ass whooped by these dudes for a few times or whatever else, and he said all of a sudden out of nowhere they decided to say that like he was the leader all along, like something like Austin. Like,
it was me, Austin.
Yeah, like this is a supreme power.
It was me all along.
It was me. I'm just like, dude, I can't believe y'all. I can't. What is this?
And you know what? That's one of the storylines that killed their business. But up until that point, they were actually having like a boom period.
Right.
That was when Austin Aries was the champion and Jeff Hardy and him were feuding that summer. They were that was their best business they ever did.
Mm-hmm.
Was the Hardy feud before the?
Is that the same time?
Bobby Roode stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because Bobby Roode I think was still part of Beer Money at the time.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that James Storm, right?
Yeah.
They were good.
Speaking of Beer Money, you got a Bud Light right next to you. That's funny.
Don't be ratting me out to the listeners. I do this show sober.
I didn't say you were
sober-minded, straight edge.
Oh my god! All right. CM Punk gonna come through the telephone, gonna come through the microphone and whoop your ass for that. All right. So yeah, I would definitely say that I definitely owe you all jokes aside. I definitely owe you a debt of gratitude for that, because
I've never thought of it, because like sometimes I'm the wrestling geek in the group where I'm like, guys, you gotta check out this match, and like everyone's
what do you mean
like,
sometimes?
All right,
I feel like I'm not exactly on your level, but I'm like it's a notch like underneath you.
Nah, Josh will try to argue with you about like what was the best match in 1973. Like I'm like, dude, I'm not doing that with you, Josh. Fine, you can have it.
I mean, I'm not gonna argue about it if I know what the best match of that year was.
See how you put yourself over?
Yep.
See, I can already tell the face heel dynamics between this partnership here. I can already see it.
No, we're both faces.
Yeah, sure.
We're good guys.
Sure you are.
We both wear the white boots.
Yeah.
Wear the white boots like Triple H in the early 2000s, huh?
Yeah. Oh my god.
Right.
So let's talk about Sakura Genesis and the Road 2 show.
Yeah, so on Friday there was a Road 2 show. Not too much happened on that show.
Something happened.
Yeah, but
something magnificent happened.
But overall it was kind of there. But the opening matchup was a rematch from the Young Lions Cup in December. Yagi and Narita.
I believe this was our match of the month in December.
Yes,
were we not pimping the crap out of that match?
Yeah, we were.
No one was talking about it.
Yeah, we were.
Because that was a match that happened in front of like 100 people and no one watched it on New Japan World, but it was like one of the best matches of the year.
Yeah.
Well, I
remember we were marking out in the old Strong Style studios.
Yo, they topped that match.
They did.
So we watched this match and I said, oh, it was better than the original match. But we went back and watched the original match and I was like, oh, this one was better. Yo, Yagi and Narita is that freaking match, yo.
That's the fight forever.
That's the fight forever match in New Japan.
10 years from now when they're main event in Wrestle Kingdom.
When was the last time that a Young Lion match was the best match on a card?
It's been a hot minute.
When's the last time you saw a Young Lion match that was over 3.5 stars?
A multi-man match, maybe.
Not even.
Yeah.
Like, never, bro. It never happens. This match was phenomenal. So, Jeremy, talk about your first impressions of this match.
Well, I mean, it was pretty much similar to the first one, with both of them going out there, like, slapping the crap out of each other.
Right.
Pretty much having no care for each other's body.
They don't care at all, bro.
I mean, both of them had very nice drop kicks. I know we were joking with Rich that Okada's going to be like, hey, young boys, You need to calm down with the drop kick spot.
Yagi has a very similar drop kick to like Okada, whereas freaking Narita, he does one similar to the Suzuki one where he runs at the guy and hits him as hard as he can.
Yeah.
And it's just like, holy crap, it's so dangerous.
Narita with the headbutt spot, which I'm like, dude.
Oh yeah, he hit him with a
like, have we not just seen Shibata? Like,
you heard that joint.
Yeah, like all I hear was.
Yeah, and they did that in the last match too, so it was a callback spot to the first match.
The first match, the headbutt wasn't as hard. Like,
it was pretty hard.
But this one, though.
This one was worse, yeah. So, I mean, this was just... I think part of the reason why these guys go to war so much, and maybe that they're allowed to showcase what they're doing, is because they're booked at the bottom of the freaking Young Lions.
Yeah, they're both like the bottom two. I mean, it was Yagi who got left behind. He didn't get to go to Long Beach.
He didn't get to go to Long Beach. They freaking beat the crap out of him every time he
got his head shaved by Suzuki.
He got his mouth busted open, his nose broke. Like, they beat the crap out of him.
Narita, like, didn't like Dave Boy Smith Jr. like stand on him a couple shows ago?
Remember he got that
choke slam from Archer?
How long ago was the head shaving though?
That was back in January.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I mean, these two guys, also the storyline going back to the Young Lion Cup was that they wrestled on the final night of the tournament. They both had no points going into the final, so they're at the bottom of all the booking of the Young Boys.
Right.
And they went out there, they had a war, and they went 15 minutes to the time limit.
Draw.
Both guys ended up with 1 point for the whole tournament for their showing. But they walked away with my respect because that match was incredible. Well, they freaking did it again on the bottom of a show, some Road to show, that with no fanfare, nobody even knew that the match was happening. They popped for this match like it was the main event.
The crowd was into it. Even like Don Callis.
Callis was so into it.
Rocky Romero were popping for it.
They were popping so hard. They're like, this is the best like performance I've seen from Young Boys all year, because they don't see all the smaller shows even.
Right. Especially Don, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, this was incredible. It came to a point where basically Narita was in, I think 2 or 3 times he was in the Boston Crab.
Yeah.
And each time it looked like he was gonna to lose. He kept fighting through it. He ended up getting to the ropes. He eventually turned the tide, put Yagi in the Boston Crab, and then you started hearing the announcers give the countdown.
Like 30 seconds left.
It started feeling like a William Regal TV title defense on WCW. And but Yagi was clearly not getting out of that Boston Crab. Like, Yagi tried to power out, and he was so spent and so tired, he wasn't making the ropes, and Narita just started cranking on it, and then the bell rang. And so the last time they wrestled, when they went to the bell, it looked like Yagi was going to pick up the win. And now they've gone to the bell again, and it's months later. And now Narita looks like he has the upper hand. These guys have put on 2 phenomenal, near like 4.25 to 4.5 star matches. And the only reason they're so low is maybe because the non-finish and their
time limits
and they're young boys. But
right, they can't do. If they could do more moves.
If they could do more moves, like, this is some of the most. Yeah, their entire matches are happening in the ring. They're not even leaving the ring or anything. It's incredible. Yeah. So, yeah, this match was just freaking awesome. We popped, like, we watched it twice. Like, that's how good this match was. And this was a low-key contender for match of the month. And, I mean, it's going to be one of the best matches of the year when the year's over.
Yeah, definitely.
So how often you guys actually go back and rewatch matches? Like,
not very often.
In short succession. Not like, I want to go back and watch, like, Okada and Shibata. Like, as opposed to, like, watch a match and, like, within a week, like, check it out later.
I think when we're, like, coming down for, like, match of the month, if it's close, like for February, we rewatched Ospreay and Hiromu and Okada and Tanada. We watched those, like, twice.
I think with our schedules and the coverage we're doing on New Japan plus watching other products, it's hard to actually rewatch. When we were more casual.
That's why I'm asking.
Yeah, I mean, when we were more casual, I would, we'd watch big shows and then kind of here and there pick and watch matches. But lately, we don't really rewatch matches unless it's really significant.
For like match of the month or something, yeah.
That match was just awesome. Like both of those Yagi and Narita matches, I'm gonna pimp them forever. They're that good. Like, they're gonna be so underrated. Like, time's gonna forget about these wars. And I mean, I don't know. I've never seen any young boy matches that good ever.
Yeah, they were really good.
So incredible. I can't wait to see them go again. Because now they got a backstory going. This is just like Jay White and Dave Finlay.
We got a Young Lions show next week.
Yeah, coming up. And we got 2 new Young Lions, which means guess who's getting bumped up? Yagi and Narita.
Yeah.
Because they got young boys underneath them now. So they're not going to be at the bottom anymore. And that just means someone's got to go. It looks like, I don't know, Kitamura's still out. Who knows what's going on with him? It looks like Umino's getting pushed, so we'll see.
And also, like, you also got to get to with Kitamura, like, given his age, like kind of get him up and out of here.
Well, he's injured. So
which means like when he time means like the sand glass, the sand is coming out faster. Yeah.
Well,
injuries don't help.
He had a 7-match series he was supposed to finish, and he didn't finish the last one.
How many matches short is he?
Just one.
Yeah. But we think they're gonna sweep that under the rug, and he's just
never mind that.
I think he's just gonna go. I think once he recovers, like we probably won't see him again for a year or two, and then he'll come back.
Where would you like him to go? Excursion.
We've talked about this before.
Yeah.
You know what?
That's funny.
We have, but
it's like it's almost like like a proud parents, like he's taking off from different colleges. Like, where would you like him to go? That's the way it came out. That's funny.
Like me and Jeremy, we've planned about this. We've discussed it.
Yeah.
Hopefully somewhere where we're single days drive away, right?
Somewhere that has TV exposure.
I've thought. I don't know if I want him to have TV exposure. Like I would almost prefer for him to go to the Indies at this point. That's just my feeling.
Like go to like Evolve or something.
If he had someone that could translate for him and like help him that was here in the States and make it a successful thing, and he could like just go underground and wrestle for all these local indies like all over the States and just build like a cult following and show up on pay-per-view here and there for like Evolve or for I don't know, AAW and that PWG, and maybe he goes undefeated for a while, and then at a certain point they build him up, he loses to some champion here, it's a big deal, and then he goes back to Japan. Right. And he comes back with a new gimmick, and he defeats Okada and ends his 5-year run.
5-year run. Sometimes I've thought about that before, but like sometimes I wonder if they actually want, seeing how they want to expand into the U.S., like if they actually want somebody developing in front of the quote-unquote American fans that would be most likely to actually check him out.
Right, which I wouldn't be surprised if he does go to Ring of Honor. They've had a lot of guys.
They've had a lot of guys.
Evil did his excursion there. Jay White just recently.
Right.
Evil did kind of, but kind of not. But Jay White did.
So if you had to choose between, like, let's just,
they didn't
if
do
you say, like,
you
said CMLL or Ring of Honor, where we prefer to go?
CMLL. Guys tend to become better workers and become more well-rounded characters, and just in general, they've got a much greater track record of success. Mm-hmm. And they use, and it also keeps the guys more like on that side of the world with less coverage, so it's more of a secretive thing.
Right.
Ring of Honor is more exposed, and they're not going to push them. Not that they're supposed to push them.
Right.
But I mean, you would expect that.
They barely used Sho and Yo. They used Jay White, but he was already kind of established. Right. They did nothing with Evil when he was Watanabe.
Evil was doing jobs.
He was barely used. I mean, I think he was with Jersey Pro or whatever it was.
Well, I mean, until the G1 when he got that one over Okada, like, what was he doing in New Japan?
He was a gatekeeper for Naito.
Right.
He still had a prominent role, like in a character and a gimmick and all that. But
that is a gimmick. That's definitely a gimmick.
But like earlier, I mean, they didn't do any. He did was go to the U.S. so he could gain weight. That is like literally what they told him to do. Mm-hmm. Go there, bulk up, get a character, come back. That's it. But yeah, I would like to see Kitamura, like, maybe, who knows, maybe go to Europe. He could go. I mean,
go to WXW.
He go to Progress. Go to Germany. Yeah, go.
Can't go 5-star.
But yeah. So I mean, with that being said, what else happened on the show? Speaking of Evil.
He made his big return.
Yep.
This Road 2 show. There was a 10-man tag, LIJ against Suzuki Gun. And Evil picked up the big win there against Kanemaru.
Yeah, so getting back on the winning track. And there wasn't really much that happened on this show that was really standout. It was your standard Road 2 show. The results are out there. You guys want to check them out. The one big thing, though, was the main event was a tag team match.
Yeah. Yep. Yoshihashi and Okada against Taichi and Sabre.
Right, so this kind of set up the main event for Sakura Genesis, and the real question was who's taking this fall, Yoshihashi or heavyweight Taichi?
Correct.
And it's like, who did we watch this with? Was it Rich? Or was it just you and me?
It's just me and you for the Road 2 show.
Yeah, I think you were like, who do you hate more, Yoshihashi or Taichi? And I was like, wow. I don't really hate Taichi though. Like
I don't really hate Yoshihashi.
Oh, I do.
Like Taichi, I see like, oh, that's immediate heat. Like you're lip syncing with a mic. Like, come on, man. And you wear a mask. Like you're like, come on. Like Phantom of the Opera.
Yeah.
Like, you're definitely.
Yeah, and he usually has this hot girl out there with him, Miho Abe.
Yo, I don't know if you saw, she put a tweet out. I couldn't understand it because I wasn't able to translate it, but she was taking photos with her and Hideki Suzuki from Big Japan, and it almost seemed like maybe they're together now, and I'm like...
Man, that's sad. No more Miho Abe.
Yo, I'm gonna have to get a Big Japan subscription or something. Oh man, 'cause she's a draw.
Yeah,
she's a draw out here in these streets.
She's a draw, huh?
Yeah.
All right. So, anything else from this Road 2 show?
Yeah, Yoshihashi tapped out.
Yeah, Saber.
Yeah. So, before we talk about Sakura Genesis, do you want to wrap up our matches of the month and our superstar of the month, or do you want to go into Sakura Genesis?
We're going to Sakura Genesis and then go into that afterwards.
Let's do it.
All right, so James, you saw this show with Sakura Genesis on Saturday. Opened up, we had a battle of the Bullet Club. It was the Young Bucks taking on Chase Owens and Yujiro Takahashi. What do you think about this match, James?
I thought it was a good, solid opener. Fun, didn't drag really. I'm kind of wearing thin on Matt in his back and just having to sell it over and over and over. And I understand like he might actually really be injured.
Right.
I mean, and that's, I guess, is a way to get through it, or whatever makes it an easier night for you. And it's, just an instant, easy story. So I appreciate that. But like, we've been doing this since January, bro.
Yeah, man.
Like, maybe you should take some time off. Like, and I think it would be nice to showcase Nick as a single for at least a little bit.
Do you think it's like Ace Cowboy Bob Orton with his forever injured arm?
No, I don't think it's fully gimmicked like that. No, yeah. I don't think it's like that. But I'm getting concerned about the fact that he's like, this dude's really going through it, and like, I mean,
and he's not.
He's still taking some big bumps,
and he's not taking any breaks. I mean,
right.
He's doing New Japan, doing Ring of Honor, Europe.
I mean, the matches they're working with, everything aside that you said, and I'm totally in agreement. I think, if he is injured, I don't know. Well, there's a part of me that kind of thinks like this is part of the story and it's leading somewhere.
Right.
But at the same time, it has been a long time and they haven't really ever come out and said what the deal is. Like, what is his injury? Why is he banged up? I mean, did this guy even go to a doctor? Like, what's the deal? You know?
Well, on I know we're gonna talk about Being the Elite later, but on this week's Being the Elite, Nick asked Matt about his back, and he was like, "It's as good as it's gonna get for right now."
Yeah, but with that being said, they're still working fantastic matches around it, and I love Southern style tag wrestling. This one didn't disappoint. I thought that this was a really, like you said, it didn't drag. It was a really fun, clean opener. I liked when they all did the too sweet. Well, they tried to get them to do the too sweet in the beginning.
They did the New Japan handshake and
stuff. Because they can't do it.
Yeah.
And then they turned their backs.
Jump zone.
Yeah, they jump zone those boys. And that was kind of telling because it's like, oh, I guess Chase and Yujiro are going to play heel here a little bit.
Yeah.
Kind of setting up a little face like situation there.
Well, the especially the Korean crowd, or what crowd was this? This was
they were in Sumo Hall.
Sumo Hall, yeah. The Sumo Hall crowd usually loves Young Bucks, and Young Bucks have gotten pretty over.
Is there a crowd that doesn't like the Young Bucks in Japan?
Yeah, at this point, I mean,
it has to be smaller towns,
right? I mean, at this point, they're in such incredible matches. Like,
they're big draws over there. I mean,
you hear the crowd reaction.
Yeah, I sometimes wonder, given where we are with Matt's back, like if there's a situation where like nothing matters, he's not gonna take time off. He's just laser focused on getting the all in, and then like hopefully, like I feel so much better about the situation if like there was like a destination to where like once we get past all in, he can take a break.
Right.
Like I hope that's the case. Like I'd be more on board with this if we find out like, okay, he has an end goal in mind for when to like lay off.
Well, that's been the brilliance of their storyline and the storytelling they're doing across all these platforms. And me and Jeremy talk about this week to week, how they're interweaving all these different stories.
Yeah.
we don't know where the story's going, and every time there's a new like wrinkle or a new like rivet, we didn't really see it coming. Even if we did a little, even if it was hinted at, it's really hard to tell where everything's going. And they've done a great job at it so far. Like it hasn't like worn out my patience, even though it's been like slow build.
Right.
So I'm trusting and believing that it's leading to something that's going to pay off. I just don't know what it is.
And one thing that we should absolutely give the props for, as much as like I'm kind of getting worried about his back, like for all the crap people have given them over the years for being spot monkeys and no psychology,
And
blase,
video game wrestlers.
yeah, blase squad. Oh yeah, the Cornette line, video game wrestlers, the blase squad. Like this they've been doing this and committed to it for at least 6 months. So like you people should be able to like respect that and like actually appreciate what they're doing, because like they're showing people like, and also people like Ospreay, like we can we're not just what all this crap you claimed us to be. Like we can actually sell. And actually, we do, in New Japan, we do some of the best selling in the world.
Yeah.
And I love the new use of the sharpshooter that they've been doing the last couple months.
It's so funny.
Yeah.
Yes, Matt doing it's so funny watching Matt turn somebody over to sharpshooter. He's like he's gonna fall off from his back, being in such pain, and then he's wearing a weight belt. Like he's getting it over so hard.
Yeah, I mean, one of the biggest like giveaways that you don't actually watch the product at all, and it's fine if you don't, whatever. I'm sure if you're listening to this show you probably do, but is if you're going to sit out there and criticize these guys and say that they're just spot monkeys or whatever, you're clearly not watching these guys work, because they're working Southern style wrestling.
Dude, watch this match, watch the Roppongi 3K match.
I think they can play the Indian arena, like they can do whatever they can. They're that kind of talent,
right? They
have that kind of talent, but they can do pretty much whatever they want whenever they feel like it. So but that's the one thing people like don't really appreciate when it comes to.
But for people that are out there just saying, "Oh, they just do this one thing," they're not watching. They're not watching what they're doing because they don't know what they're doing.
Right.
Yeah, like this, like being elite and everything else. Like, story, like they got the storytelling down. You can't deny otherwise. Like otherwise, you just flat out like a flat earthing.
Right.
Well, basically, to kind of surmise this match, Young Bucks ended up beating Chase and Yujiro. They ended up getting Owens. Of course, Chase would tap out again. They ended up getting him in the cease and desist, the sharpshooter.
Yeah. And
got him for the tap out.
It's just a cease. Cease and desist is when the sharpshooter crossface combo.
Oh, my bad. Sorry about that. Thanks for correcting me on the air. Dang it. But he ended up hitting him with the freaking sharpshooter, and they got the win. So they get the rebound win coming off the loss in Long Beach. Kind of furthers the internal feud between the Bullet Club. Just in general, we don't even still know what's going on with that. But these guys all hugged it out at the end of the match and show that there's no actual heat residing afterwards, which is kind of nice. So
there's one important element we missed about this match.
Chase?
Peter.
Oh yeah, Peter was there. Peter.
Tokyo Latina.
Don't judge us, James. This is our show.
Don't judge us. This is our show. I'm still going to judge. Even over your airwaves.
Oh man. All right. So
hey, does she look good? She look good.
Yeah, that's true. She does look good. Can we move on now?
Yeah. So next matchup, we had the team of Toru Yano and Ishii taking on probably the worst Suzuki Gun combination, Tai Chi and Isuka.
No, it's not, because we discussed this. If you had Archer and Izuka.
Oh yeah.
Ooh,
golly.
Bad.
So this match was pretty much the typical Yano Ishii formula that we've been seeing in tag matches.
Instead of doing the crap that we do every week, where we come out, we're like, Izuka sucks, Taichi sucks. Why the crap are these matches still happening? I would actually almost want to skip over this, but James is here.
Yeah.
So James, what were your thoughts on your first viewing of Izuka and Taichi?
Well, I have Ishii is in a special place in my heart by being like the best bad body worker in the world. So
I've actually never used that term on this show before.
Oh yeah,
because I don't want to infringe on your gimmick. But
oh yeah. Well, I mean, y'all just use jump zones, so like, who cares?
That's free. That's free.
Oh, that's free. Well, okay, all right, whatever. Okay, so Yeah, I said to you before this match, I was like, dude, like this is gonna be an issue for me. Like this is gonna be like the first ever like Ishii match I've ever seen as a person that parachutes in and out on New Japan. This is gonna be like the first like sub 4.5 star match I ever seen from Ishii. I don't know how to handle this. So, but it didn't drag. It was fun at the time. Like you know, I'm not really a fan of Toriano in the foolishness, but like I guess It worked out this time because they kept it kind of short and
it was only 8 minutes.
Yeah, they kept it real short, and that's one thing I appreciate for their multi-man matches. Like they get in and they get out, and there's not much wasted space for the crowd to actually turn on it like that, as opposed to you look at the American product and it's like, yo, this is a dread to get through, just a pure burden to get through. So I thought it was fun. I thought that Ishii, I guess for lack of a better word, like they found a formula and it's working. Trying to think, what other matches have I seen with those two? I think I may have
Ishii
seen
and Yano.
Yeah,
I think we saw one on was that a New Japan Cup? No.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, New Japan Cup show.
You came over to watch
the finals.
The final.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And that match was good. That was the match against KES.
Yeah.
And that match was surprisingly very good.
Contendership match, yeah.
Yeah. This match, as bad as it was, and don't get me wrong, it sucked. There's not really much to say about it. It's everything you'd expect from Yano and Iizuka. Mm-hmm. It was better than it had any right to be. And it didn't, like, it was 8 minutes and it was over. So that's.
What do you think about the Iron Claw?
Oh my god. Yeah, I was unaware that was a thing, and then I saw the Iron Claw, and I'm thinking like, I actually made the joke like, is it gonna be like Thanos' Infinity Gauntlet? Like, is it gonna just be the whole hand? And like, he puts it on, and I'm like, oh, so it's basically like almost like the Mandible Claw except iron.
The funny thing was like trying to explain it to James was like, yeah, he's gonna use the Iron Claw, and like James was like. What?
I was like, yeah, like, do you mean like this is like a metaphorical claw, right?
Like,
no, it's a literal claw. And I'm thinking like a literal claw. Like, I mean, here you go with New Japan.
Did you think like
enforcing the rules?
Did you think it was like the Von Erich family? Like the
yeah. From the hand of Fritz. From the hand of Fritz. Like, put it right on you. Yes. Like,
and then we're like, nah, bro, it's a real Iron Claw.
A real claw.
It's not even a claw. It's like a thimble or something. He just jabs it at people. It sucks so bad. Yes. Anyway, so Yano and Ishii picked up the win. Iizuka took
low
the
blows
fall.
All around.
Yeah, low blows all around. Western Lariat. 1, 2, 3. Iizuka takes the pinfall, which brought this match up for me a bit.
Wow.
All right. Next up, we had a never openweight 6-man tag title match. Bad Luck Fale, Tama Tonga, and Tango Loa defending against Makabe, Elgin, and Taguchi. What do you think about this one, James?
I was kind of zone checked out on that match. I mean, there was nothing wrong with it per se. It's just I've never really been much of a fan of Fale aside of the Okada match for some weird reason.
Yeah.
I guess because I'm an Okada mark, but it's fine. Yes, but I thought it was a well wrestled professional match. But it didn't really move me.
Right. And I mean, there wasn't really that big of a story going into this match. I mean, they won a 6-man tag on the Road 2 show. I don't really know like how this team pretty much. I mean, they've teamed together here and there, but it's not like a solid unit that you see all the time.
You want a stat?
Yeah.
I got a stat.
All right.
This was their third successful title defense, which tied them for the most successful title defenses in the history of this belt, tying them with LIJ from last year, back in 2017. Those guys defended their belt 3 times over 228 days, and these guys have done it in 86 days.
Yeah.
So they're the Iron Man. They're like the 90s Bret Hart of this era.
Of this
of the 6-man
tag division, yeah.
Okay.
And it's usually the 6-man tags are usually hot potatoed around from team to team.
Yeah, I'm surprised they haven't lost it yet. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, 86 days is pretty long for this title. There's only like 3 teams that have held it longer than them so far. So I mean, it's kind of impressive. I mean, this title has some prestige a little bit. So.
Oh, okay. So like real quick on the global thing, because I don't want to bog it down, but I have to ask. Do you think there are too many titles in New Japan?
Yeah.
Yes.
Which ones will you cut out?
I would just combine a lot of them.
I don't think there's a need for IC and US title.
unless they're really going to utilize it.
I agree, but you know
they just made it.
But they had to give Kenny a participation trophy this weekend. So
shout out to Rich.
Yeah, Rich hates when I say that shit. He hates it so much. He loves Kenny. But yeah.
And you know, I'm not really a big fan of 6-man tag titles either.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't really care for the Never titles or like the Ring of Honor 6-man tag titles because you really don't have that many like normal 6-man teams. You usually have to like throw together some team like they did here, like challenge these guys.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's not like it's Mexico where like that's the whole companies are built around 6-man like trios matches.
Right.
So it's not really. I agree with you. I also think that there's no need for a junior and a heavyweight tag team title.
Right. There should be one tag division
because both their tag divisions are always so paper thin and weak.
Yeah, especially when like the Young Bucks, who are looking buff right now, weighing 206 pounds.
Yeah,
right now.
You mean the big bucks?
Yeah, the big bucks.
They're heavyweights now.
Grown bucks. Yeah, with being heavyweights, what, a year ago? About a year when they moved up?
No,
they just moved up.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, it was okay.
They just moved up like a month or two ago.
Yeah, at Honor Rising in February.
Yeah, they were kind of testing the waters a little bit before that.
Why do I feel like Wrestle Kingdom was so long ago when it was only like just
bro,
like 3-4 months ago?
Me and Jeremy were talking about like what happened this month, and I was like, well, we started off with the anniversary show, and Jeremy's like, that was this month.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, bro, it was in the beginning of the month.
And this might be a controversial statement, but I go back and forth on whether they need a junior title.
Oh, they need the junior title.
Yeah, I feel like they need a junior title.
I just feel like sometimes
people get lost in the watch, I feel like.
Yeah.
It's just like at this point, getting the junior title is one of their most prestigious titles.
Yeah, well, yeah. Just New Japan does a good job with their junior division.
Yeah, they accentuate their junior division. Like they actually put their juniors in a potential spot.
Right. I mean, junior titles
actually wrestle the other guys too at times. So
right, and they main event shows with the junior title.
I mean, there's an argument to be made that they utilize their titles probably not perfectly, but better than almost any other company, even the ones that don't matter as much, like these 6-man tag titles. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, I would agree that they have too many just in general.
Okay, sorry for dragging the show down for like 5 minutes. Sorry.
It's fine. Speaking of which, we've got a ton of new listeners.
Yeah.
We've talked about this stuff in the past. They probably never heard us discuss this stuff. So, I mean, like last week's show is our most listened to show ever.
Yeah.
By like a wide margin. Like a lot. Yeah. So, I don't know. The show's been growing. It's been crazy. So, I mean, if you've been tuning in, you're hearing us for the first time talk about this, or, you're hearing it again, that's...
Let's do it again. Deal
with it.
But there's a lot of people who haven't really heard our opinions on this stuff, so it's
takes.
good. Yeah, our hot takes. So,
and also, if you guys are fans now, you should go through the archive. So
yeah,
good stuff there.
This is episode 18 of Keeping It Strong Style.
I'm just like James Boyd. I'm just the talent. I just show up.
Oh my god!
I don't know what number of the show it is. That's your job, man.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So go out and check out the archives. But this match ended. We had a nice gun stun.
Oh, that stun gun was awesome.
Our gun stun, yeah.
Oh yeah, and Tama got busted open, which brought us to the first hard way of the night. Number 1.
Ding. What was it, like 4?
There was like 5.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is the first one. And I mean, there's nothing really special about this match. How about Michael Elgin's still...
Dude, after that match with Ishii, dude...
It seemed like you watched that match with us. What did you when you saw that match? What did you think? Did you not think that they're going to put the rocket on Elgin after that match?
Well, I mean, you know how that is with you always joke like Western fans when it comes to Ishii. Like we have a higher regard. We hold him in higher esteem than the Japanese fans who are actually watching it as their domestic product. So. Like for us, I'm thinking that seems like a rocket. Like he's gonna move you to a certain spot on the card higher than where he was even last year, even though he was in the G1. But they don't really regard Ishii as like that big of a pivotal win. Like he might be like the for lack of a better word, like he might be the top of the mid card type of thing. But like
you're not.
I don't know. I don't think like him beating him was gonna move him all the way to the top. Like, I wish that would mean something like that, but it's just not with Ishii.
You're not entirely wrong, but here's something that also Western fans don't take into account. It's not that he's not important, it's just that he's not as important.
No, he is. No, I didn't. I didn't want to make it out to seem like he's not important. It's but they have him as top of the mid card type.
He's
like,
Cesaro.
Yeah, he's Cesaro.
That's what
He's Cesaro. He's a guy that, because the truth of the matter is, he actually has, last year he had more singles matches than any other non-Big Four guy and non-champion, and he had a higher win percentage than almost any other person on the card.
Right.
Not just in singles, but also in tags, just across the board. So they always book him strong, but he's a utility guy that puts over other guys.
But that's the thing. Like, he's still the fifth or sixth guy. So there's only so much they can possibly do with him because wins and losses matter in New Japan.
The thing though is Elgin has not done anything since, I don't know, the G1 special last year.
Yeah.
And even in the G1 he didn't do so hot. So it seemed to me like that win, with how great that match was and the performance and the moment,
could have been a spark.
It seemed.
I thought they were rebuilding Elgin.
I thought they were rebuilding him, and no, he didn't even. Bro, they were smart. They didn't even bring him to America.
Yeah, and now he's back.
Real smart.
He's back now on multi-man matches.
Yeah, so I don't. And yes, which is crazy. We're going to WrestleMania, the three of us, and me and James saw him wrestle last year. What?
Yeah, last year on the Rev Pro show, right?
Yeah, the Rev Pro show, but he was all over the place. I mean,
yes, he was.
He's not booked at all.
Yeah, you know what else is like interesting? Like I don't. You gotta ask me, when's the last time you seen Rich in that Big Mike shirt? I ain't seen him in that shit since whatever happened came out.
If you're a Michael Elgin fan, you might want to hit up Rich Latta. He might have a Big Mike t-shirt you want to get.
Yeah, I didn't want to tell you, but
for free too.
I don't want to put Rich's stuff out in the streets like that. Let people know he paid money.
I mean, but he bought the shirt a year before all this stuff came out. Like, I mean, you know, he doesn't. I mean, he's not the moral gatekeeper of people he doesn't know.
Right.
But there's been a lot of speculation out here, and me and Jeremy have talked about it. We're like, well, you know, from what we understand, what the going-ons and the ongoings of like Western stars in America don't, even if it's controversial, don't really affect too much like the Japanese public perception of them.
Weed.
Well,
right, yeah. Like Matt Sydal.
So it's a different culture. With that being said, though, they're still kind of not pushing him. It's weird. Like,
it's really weird. So, I guess we'll see what happens G1 time.
So Tama Tonga.
I think that is probably the bigger tell. Yeah. Like if he comes out here and he's like, you know, I don't know, 3-9 or something like that.
Yeah.
Or not 3-9, 3-6. You're like, oof.
He'll end up with a respectable 4-5 or something like that. So Fale, Tungaloa, Tama Tonga retain their titles. They'll probably be dropping them very shortly, I gotta assume.
Well, we'll talk about it later. There's a 6-man title defense coming up.
Okay.
Later this month.
But yeah, that stun gun from Tama Tonga, awesome.
Very nice. So next match, we had the Ace, Tanahashi, teaming up with Juice Robinson and David Finlay.
Whoa. The, what's Juice's nickname?
Oh, the flamboyant.
The flamboyant.
Juice Robinson. Excuse me. David Finlay taking on the Chaos team of Hiroki Goto, Jay White, and Yoshihashi.
I think it's a pretty good team, but as soon as they came out, Rich was like, "Oh my God, Team Extra Regular."
Yeah.
Well, you know, like Goto's kind of swaggerless.
Goto hasn't mattered. We talked about this that night. Goto has not mattered since he
Wrestle
won
Kingdom.
since Wrestle Kingdom, since January.
It's funny. Suzuki lost that match, but Suzuki elevated and Goto declined.
Oh,
yeah,
heavily.
That is true. But when you just look at the performances from that night, and you just, as far as current performances, like besides maybe Jericho, who was better that night than Suzuki?
Right.
But you also got
that dude's a freaking maniac.
But here's the crazy thing: Suzuki had one of the worst years ever last year. He was awful all year.
His never title run was horrible.
His never run sucked. So I did not expect this 2018 Suzuki that we're getting.
The turnaround is unexpected. That's true.
Yeah,
that's true. When Suzuki gets his hands on Goto again, my God!
Oh my gosh!
I don't know if it's ever gonna.
It will not be rated TV 14. I'll put it like that.
So it seems like we're building. Obviously, Dave Finlay and Jay White got smoke, and then Goto and Juice. Obviously, we're leading to that. Do you think that we're getting something between Yoshihashi and Tanahashi?
I don't think so. I think they look. Geto,
you think that's the program they're building to?
Geto looked at the card and he was like, "Who haven't I used yet? Crap, I haven't used Tanahashi yet. I'll throw him there. Crap, I have to use Yoshihashi. Let's throw him in this match."
Nah, I think that this is the beginning of a long-seated feud.
Oh gosh.
See, this is why I said you were heel earlier.
Oh my god. So anyway, let's talk about this match. What were your thoughts, James?
I thought it was a good match. I thought that they, I do like the fact that they had Tanahashi get the pin at the end. I have to say, the Goto thing, like, now that I'm thinking about it, thinking a little in my mind now, like, I don't remember anything he did in this match. What did he do in this match?
First off, let me just say before I answer that was not my phone. That was not my iPad.
That was me this time.
That was Jeremy.
Not my phone either. Like I treat this stuff like the movies. Put it on vibrate or put it on mute.
They keep it chirping.
But I actually don't have much memory of Goto in this match either, to be honest with you, except for I think I do remember what Goto did in this match. He got hit with the freaking
Pulp Friction.
He got hit with the Pulp Friction
For the second or third time on this tour.
Yeah, bro. Like if they got me believing that Juice is gonna beat him, bro.
I want Juice to. This is probably the fourth week in a row I've said this. I want Juice to beat Goto.
They're setting us up for a heartbreak. I bet you.
Yeah.
I bet you they're setting us up for a heartbreak.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if
I don't think they'll put him over him yet. At least not yet. Maybe like in another year.
Well, here's the thing. So last year when he got his first title shot for the Never title, it was against Goto. Mm-hmm. After that, he's had performance after performance where he's had title shots and been built up.
Naito.
Yep, exactly. And then he beat Kenny Omega in the G1.
Right.
He just had that incredible, run through the New Japan Cup. And he's got new gear, so he's obviously on a new level. Mm-hmm. And Juice has been coming off like a real star, and he's over in Japan. And every time they put him and Goto in the ring together,
Juice is over.
He's over, and he's getting the better of Goto. And the story last year when they wrestled was that he was still a young boy, basically, nowhere near Goto's level, and he got outclassed.
Didn't he hard way Goto? Was it this match or was it the last match?
I don't remember. It was one of those.
It was Long Beach.
It was Long Beach.
He busted Goto's mouth open.
So I'm like starting to seriously get suspect about like he's beating Goto a lot in these matches. Goto's not getting any offense.
Yeah.
They got us believing in Juice. Gato's gonna pull the rug from underneath us and freaking have him lose and have him chase that belt.
I would say that if you're concerned about like the futures of the Young Bucks and also of Kenny, like after this next Wrestle Kingdom, then you might want to start,
pushing dudes.
Start getting them,
I agree.
For the new guys.
My whole thing is that you could do the whole pull the rug underneath him, break his heart, build him back up and all that. That's fine. But
you could. You don't have to.
But don't do it at the Never level.
Right. That's true.
Right.
Yeah.
Because you can't.
You make him like a gig.
You kneecap this guy.
Right. You're saying he's only he can only see that at a certain level.
Right. Yeah.
You Braun Strowman him.
And he's
right.
And he's literally at the point now where it's like I could see him having an IC title run, and it's not that unbelievable for me at this point. So,
and speaking of a new guys, and James, what are your thoughts on Switchblade Jay White?
Hot take.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't hate him like.
Oh, I'm not saying you are. I'm just saying this is your hot take. This is your moment because this is a controversial subject.
Yeah, I know, but like I'm not really like on either side of it. Like he's clearly a talented guy. He just hasn't like gotten. He hasn't fully taken full advantage of the opportunities he's been given. Like the semi-main at Strong Style Evolve.
Right.
So. I mean, but he still puts on a quality wrestling match, and that's pretty much all you can really ask for a guy. You can't like. I really don't. I mean, obviously it's New Japan. Everyone thinks like everybody should be able to be like as good as the big five, for lack of a better word, but that's a really high fucking standard. So like maybe like let him like grow into that, give him time. Like, can he at least get a year? Can he get a full year?
Well, it sounds like all three of us are in the same camp then. That give him some time. Where our brother Rich, buries this man at every turn.
But Rich is impatient because Rich is like, look, Rich is sitting on the WWE product. And like he knows what that is, right? We all know what that is,
right?
So when you watch New Japan or NXT or 205 Live, you're like, look, I spend 3 hours or 5 hours a week watching WWE. So
this is my escape.
I watch other stuff. This is supposed to be like this, like I'm watching. I'm eating my 5 hours of vegetables.
Right.
I want protein. I want sugar. You know, I want butter and fat. Like I want all that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that's what you really want. That's why he doesn't like Zack Sabre Jr. either. He's like, look, get that shit out of here. That's not what I want.
He wants a Pizookie with ice cream on top of it.
Yeah.
The whole thing.
Yeah. Whole thing?
The whole thing. Oh my God. But yeah, you know what? My whole thing with Jay White is this. Great wrestler? Absolutely. Is there more potential than what he's probably shown us? Probably. I would be way more impatient and way less satisfied if his character work wasn't so phenomenal.
Dude, yeah, his promos are fire.
He's the most interesting thing that is happening in New Japan. Every single time they have backstage interviews, every time he's literally like puppeteering the entire organization.
He let go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'm pondering my question.
I was gonna say he lit Hangman Page on fire in that press conference before Strong Style evolved.
Yeah, that was one of the best promos of the year. And I mean, New Japan's not even a company known for great promos, but it was awesome.
Okay, so do you guys think that? Okay, do you think he's like basically like the American Sonata?
No. Well, he's not American.
Well, sorry.
The New Zealand
Western Sonata, where he's a guy that can do pretty much anything in the ring, right?
Right.
But like,
doesn't have to put it all together. There's something missing.
There's something missing with connecting to the crowd. Is like to where like that's just keeping him back. But like, if he ever figures it out, look out. At least right now.
That's not a bad analogy. You got
I was gonna say I think the problem with Jay White is I think he's better off being a babyface. Like he as a young boy,
even with that gimmick though,
not with the switchblade gimmick.
Okay,
but because as a young boy he was a babyface and he was doing a lot of high flying flip flop moves. Right. He went to Ring of Honor. He was teaming with guys like Flip Gordon and the Motor City Machine Guns. And he was a hot babyface feuding against heel Bullet Club, so I think he's it's better off. I think he'd be better utilized as a babyface character. I think he's still trying to get used to being a heel.
Right. Okay, that makes sense. I didn't know. Like I just knew of of him being in Ring of Honor in the background, but I didn't know if he was a babyface.
I mean, his whole offense has pretty much changed up because he did a lot more high flying, a lot more dives, and now he's more strike base. A lot of like sudden impact moves.
Here's my thing with
so it's funny. It sounds like Seth Rollins. Like when you talk about
he's
Seth
a lot
Rollins.
like Seth Rollins,
right? Especially with the gear. But he's like you saw what he was doing, having these great matches as a heel. And you're like, I can't wait till he turns babyface.
Right.
I just can't wait. And like they giving it to us in like little peaks and bursts. So like I can't wait till they fully unleash him.
Right.
I think the biggest difference between him and Sonata is that Sonata has had opportunity after opportunity after opportunity after opportunity throughout his career to be the man. He's 30 years old now, and there's only 5 years in difference between them. But Seiya Sonata got into the game when he was like 18 or 19, something like that.
Right, he's been grinding for a while now.
He was in All Japan. He didn't make. They gave him the push. He didn't do nothing with it. He went to TNA. They gave him the push. He didn't do nothing with it. He went to Wrestle One. They wanted to make him the ace. Gave him the push. He didn't do anything with it. And then they've really given him lots of opportunities in New Japan. And he still is exactly what you're talking about. But I do think there's something fundamentally missing there. Mm-hmm. And it's not just like if he finds it, he'll be great. I think it's like he doesn't have it.
Yeah.
That's not taking anything away from how great he is. He's incredible. I just don't think he's ever going to get to the Okada level.
And the thing
that's not hard to even get to.
Yeah.
Well, even like that top tier, like Ibushi, Naito.
That's a high bar.
Right.
Like that's the thing when we talk about the young guys. Like, look, these dudes are all talented, obviously, or most of these dudes are very, very talented. But like, it's not a guarantee that you're going to end up like that.
Right.
Like you're going to end up like being Ibushi, Ishii, Naito. That reach that level, like that's so astronomically like talented and cerebral.
Right.
That's a really high bar. Like like even somebody that's just like from a skill perspective is actually on that level with those kind of guys, but like is just below because I guess the push hasn't been there and he's still a junior. But like how hard it will be to be freaking Will Ospreay.
Yeah.
Can you imagine how hard that'd be to be Will Ospreay?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about. We're talking about like, the for lack of a better word, the elite, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But not to get off the subject, but and taking nothing away from Seiya Sanada, the guy's incredible.
Right.
But I just don't see him elevating to that level unless something shifts, and they got to move him to that position. Yeah. But with Jay White just got here.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, he literally just came back. Yeah.
More potential.
He has more upside. He's got more time to grow. And even though there might be that intangible thing missing during his matches, when it comes to the mic work and it comes to his character work and everything, he's putting it together. And I think, like, if anything, like, what we've seen from Cody this past year shows us that, like, there's still time for a guy to, like, find himself and put it together.
Right.
And I think Jay White's doing phenomenal. Plus that Saito suplex, man.
Oh my gosh! Every time he hits it, I like cringe.
Plus, I really like where they're going with this Finlay storyline. They've been feuding since they were young lions.
Right.
This is like a 12-match series, and he's gotten the better of him like 11 or 12 times already.
Yeah.
And this is finally the chance for Finlay to get elevated. We've been talking about that for a long time.
Yeah, I mean, Dave Finlay's a guy, solid worker. I mean, but this no real gimmick, no real
look either.
Yeah, no real look, no excitement to him. So I mean, this U.S. title match is going to be a great opportunity to, like, start getting some, steam behind him. I still think he needs to go. Yeah, I still think he needs to go on excursion, even though he's technically not a young boy anymore. Like, I would send him to Europe, have him perfect that same style his dad perfected.
We've been talking about it for a while, yeah.
And have him come back,
Send him to Germany. Send him to WXW.
Yeah.
But
when's the 16-carat tournament? Did that
already happened this year? Okay. Yeah, it was really good too.
Because the Sabre won that, right?
No.
Okay.
No, I don't remember. I don't think Ilja won it this year, but I forget. That being said, we got the Juice and Goto interactions. We got the Finlay and Jay White interactions. And then let's talk about the Ace back in the win column.
Yeah, Tanahashi hit just one high fly flow.
That's all he needs for Yoshihashi.
Yeah. And puts out Yoshihashi.
You don't want to block those knees on somebody like that.
Right.
Just get it done with.
Good match, 9 minutes, 20 seconds. Got in, got out. And that brings us to the next match.
Yeah, so we have Suzuki-gun with Minoru Suzuki and Lance Archer and Davey Boy Smith Jr. taking on the team of LIJ of Naito, Evil, and Sonata. What do you think about this one, James?
I really, really enjoyed this match. Like, I really, really enjoy everything that was done between Naito and Suzuki. Like, they are going to tear each other apart. Like, somebody's going to break here. Like, there's clearly a thing between, like, the flat out diabolical, maniacal maniac. Just trying to get my point. Like, the flat out evil, no pun intended, that is Suzuki versus, like, Tranquilo. Like, so we're gonna see, like, somebody's gonna break here, at least temporarily for the story, and I'm interested to see who's gonna get to who.
Right, and I mean, Naito just complete disrespect to Suzuki at every chance, spitting on him, slapping on him, not caring during his entrance, not caring when he's in the ring with him. It's like, dude, like,
he's pissing off Suzuki.
Yeah.
It's really good. Like, we remember back in the 90s, they talk about, like, Goldust's mind games and Undertaker's mind games.
Yeah. Right.
Yo, this dude's playing mind games with Suzuki. Like, he finessed his way into a title shot for no reason, just because he disrespected him one time.
Because Suzuki hates defending his title.
He doesn't. Yeah, he never wants to defend his title.
All he wants
to do is like stretch people and then, like, stupidly go too early for a gotch pile driver.
Right.
That's what he loves to do.
Yeah. Now, I will say this: as smart as the build has been, and as classic as some of the interactions have been, I've grown a little, like, weary personally of the interactions between them. It's just
too many.
There've been a lot, and it's like it's a lot of, like,
it's been a lot of multi-man matches with Suzuki just beating the crap out of Naito.
It's not that they're not good. It's just you know that obviously, like, one of these days Naito's going to pop off, and it's going to be. I know the match is going to be great.
Yeah.
But everything in between, it's been such a slow build, and he just keeps, like, doing the Tranquilo stuff.
This has been building for a while now.
Yeah, and you figure, like, given that Suzuki's a champion, like, it'd be nice if Naito was the champion again, and then, like, there would actually be something for, like, Suzuki to actually, like, really threaten Naito with.
Right.
Because, like, there's really, pretty much, you're right. Like, he's just the calm guy trolling this champion. He's, like, getting under his skin, and, like, this dude, like, okay, Like, keep playing with me. Like, I will murder you in your sleep.
Yeah, and I mean, ultimately, like, I'm excited for it because they're two big names now, and it's interesting, and I want to see what happens. But I'm like, let's get to it. I'm ready for the match now.
Like, this could have happened like 2 shows ago.
The first time they interacted, I was like, this is fantastic. And then it was the same thing and the same thing and the same thing, and now I'm like, all right, let's do it. Let's run it.
Yeah,
that's true. How many times has he beaten down Naito?
I mean,
Naito's been the one that's been getting beat down for most of the interactions, or either that, or he's just been skating by, like, not getting hurt and just posing.
Right.
He hasn't really done anything to Suzuki to hurt him, except for that's what I mean.
He's
like,
embarrassed.
For
example, like the final of the New Japan Cup, where like on the undercard match, where he like basically leaves him in, him between a chair.
Yeah.
And he like, and then like next thing you know, like 2 weeks later, it's like, oh, Tranquilo is like,
I mean, this
like what's gonna be this spark that like one of these dudes are gonna basically like break out of their roles.
Well, Suzuki's tried, and like freaking every time he tries Naito, like either no sells it or just doesn't care.
Do you think it's going to happen in the match or post?
It'll be the match. It'll be the match.
Especially there's finally an official date for the match now.
Yeah.
I think Naito's going to keep the game plan. I think he's going to like
Naito's that meme.
The crowd really wants it too. The crowd really wants to see this. Like we were joking about.
They'll be super hot for it.
Like when Naito's in the ring, doing his laydown deal, and then Suzuki turns around and goes to the ring, and like they're right next to each other, and like he's still on the floor, and he's like, dude, like he wants to kick your face off right here. Right now.
I will say this: the interactions they had in this match, I thought were the best so far of the entire build.
Yeah,
and the way that like Suzuki left, and then he pissed Suzuki off again and
came back.
And he lost his mind
through the table.
It was so funny. Like he basically said like two sentences and got 3 audible gasps from the crowd.
Yeah,
like,
we don't even know what he said.
Yeah, he was like, yeah, bro, you don't want no smoke with this dude. On my ass, like your life is on the line.
Right.
Well, that's the crazy thing too. Like, I don't remember a time in recent memory where someone was not afraid of Suzuki.
Even Kenny Omega,
Okada, Tanahashi. They know what's up. Everyone's afraid of this dude. And like Naito gives no craps about it. Like, I don't know. How about we're getting the build to Evil and Sonata defending their belts against KES. They took the titles off them back in January. It looks like we're getting a return match. How about Archer making that kid cry?
Yeah, that's been his gimmick the last few shows. Been getting in kids' face and making them cry.
This was worse than the other ones though.
Yeah.
This one was really bad. Like, I understand heel work, and I understand getting heat, and I do think that I think sometimes people get overly sensitive about things, but this is, you can't traumatize a little kid like that. Like, this is like, dude, that dad who was just holding the kid and like was just like, just laughing
about it.
You're the worst dad in the world. Like, what are you doing?
And like he had got into, or wasn't he in a situation like a week or two ago where whose was it that spat on a kid?
That was the indie. That was
on the indie show.
Yeah, don't think like you are too far removed from like somebody jumping over that rail.
Did you see that dad? That dad started beating that dude up.
Put hands on that.
Yeah, and we've talked about it. You even mentioned it too. Like, dude, if Lance Archer spits on me,
I'm throwing the chair I'm sitting on right back at him.
Right.
Yep.
And then like whatever happens. That's fine. But like you're not finna like I didn't pay tickets. I didn't like for you to spit on me. Fuck out of here.
Right.
Oh my god! If we were like,
especially for him, like he's not even a fucking man Carter,
dude. If we're doing sound bites to start off our show and you were part of our show, that'd be like your sound bite. I didn't pay good money.
Fuck out of here!
Yeah. Oh my gosh!
With your host, James Boyd. I didn't pay money for you to come spit on me. I'm gonna take my chair.
Throw that shit right back at you. Consequences be damned.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. But I think that Sonata and Evil and KES is going to be awesome.
Yes.
I thought the interactions with Sonata and Davey Boy were awesome.
Yeah, they were.
And even though we talked about Sonata maybe not being quite up to the level of everyone else, ever since his push, he's been way more over.
Yeah, the crowd they've been loving some Sonata.
And they weren't caring about Sonata last year.
Yeah, they care about him now though.
But they care about him now.
And they also care about Evil also.
And this wasn't Osaka. This was Tokyo.
Yeah.
So I mean, like, that's a big deal. Like, he's way more over than he was. Evil's been over for a while now, especially ever since his performances last year. I think there's maybe more heat for this match than there was. And remember at the beginning of the year, there's no heat for this match.
Right.
Coming off the tournament win.
Well, because the one tag. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, so do you think it was Evil? Do you think it was the G1, or do you think it was the G1 plus the title shot?
I think it's the gimmick of.
The gimmick is
Yeah.
cool.
Well, I think G1 title shot and like the World Tag League run like that him and Sonata had. And then, like, all his promos, too, that he's been cutting.
But he's had good G1s the last couple G1s.
Yeah.
Even the G1 before that, even though he had duds, when he wants to, he's one of those guys that he will work real lazy, and then on the night he can over-deliver, and you just never expect it. Like you can't sleep on Evil. He's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
I don't enjoy all his matches, but, I mean, he's a good worker. And KES, as much as we criticize them, their matches are always really solid. They're the best like super big guy size like tag team in the world right now.
Yeah.
They're better than everyone else that's out there, and there's quite a few of them actually. So I think that this was a great build to that tag match, plus the IC title match. How did this match actually end up? Oh,
So,
that's right.
It came down to pretty much just LIJ and KES.
Evil and KES, yeah.
Yeah, and so Sonata got hit with the killer bomb.
Yeah.
And then it was just down to Evil fighting off Archer and Smith by himself. And then he tried his best, but eventually he also fell to the killer bomb, and they got the pin.
Yeah. So we got two different title matches, really good build, really smart. We already talked about the post-match promo with Naito and Suzuki.
Yep.
Suzuki killed a young lion.
Yes.
That was one of the new ones, right?
Yeah, one of the new ones. And then right after that, we got a G1 video announcing all the tour dates for the G1, which I guess we'll talk about a little bit later in the show.
Yes. So, and then after that, we had the junior tag title match with El Desperado and Kanemaru from Suzuki Gun taking on Bushi and Takahashi from LIJ, and then Sho and Yo over Pungi 30K.
Thoughts?
I thought that it was really hard to tell the difference between Bushi and Desperado.
Yeah.
Like unless you know, obviously,
I said the same thing.
Desperado has like the deal on the back of his mask, but like at times it was like, you know, kind of lost the track. But yeah, I thought it was a short match. It didn't really. I didn't really get into this match that much. Like,
I didn't at all.
Until probably Sho kind of had his little run. But
Sho
is the man.
Yeah, when Sho got his little run, that was when it was kind of like, evil.
You mean Sean?
Yeah.
Oh wow! I know y'all been doing it. Talking about Sho, Yo is genetic.
Yo is definitely Genetti.
Yeah.
Except for Yo's not as good as Genetti.
What?
Genetti was great.
Genetti,
I know he was,
Genetti's
but
so good.
He just had his demons, as they like to say.
Right, yeah.
Oh my god. But anyway, so
Lots of demons.
I did not care for this match. I haven't really been into this feud since it started.
And we just saw this match recently. When was that title match?
Anniversary show?
The anniversary show, yeah.
Which feels like a million years ago.
Right, which was only a few weeks ago.
We were already critical of the booking. The super convoluted. The fact that Desperado and Kanemaru got the title win, but then they threw in Bushi and Hiromu because they had nothing else to do with them. But they didn't.
Right.
The freaking story didn't need them to begin with.
Right.
Now they're all convoluted again, and so the titles mean less than they did, a year ago. The only positive thing I have to really say about this match is, Kanemaru and Desperado retained, which I guess adds a little prestige to their run.
Yeah, I was actually expecting a title change. Yeah.
I was too, because they're booking it like it's 2013 New Japan.
Right.
And also, I think for me, it also kind of was a bummer to where there was a match that featured Hiromu, and Hiromu didn't do something ridiculously irresponsible. So
Right.
so that's kind of you didn't do something dangerous.
I'm kind of glad. I mean, I would like him to save those spots for when they matter instead of doing them on
I agree. I would enjoy it if he just didn't do them at all, because you're gonna kill yourself.
Yeah.
But at the same time, he has kind of built himself a reputation of this fool's gonna go out here and do something ridiculous.
Hiromu did have a good run in this match, though, and there are several times where it looked like they were about to pick up the win. I didn't think that. I thought that the timing was clunky. I don't think they ever got into a good flow with this match, and with the amount of talent that they have, this is the second big miss that they've had.
Yeah.
Yeah, it felt like at two different points in the match, they kind of didn't know what they wanted to do with it. at the like beginning and actually towards the end.
Yeah. Plus, I think that these 3-ways would benefit if they had all 3 teams in at one time instead of the 2, and then the 2 guys are like falling out on the floor.
Yeah.
They just feel very disconjointed and combobulated. And I know we see that a lot with tag matches in New Japan in general, of course, but this is to another level where it's like I'm not even really enjoying this series, and I'd much rather prefer them to do straight tag matches. So I don't know. I mean, it is what it is. Like, I don't even know. Everyone seems lost now. Like,
Yeah.
Desperado and Kanemaru don't come off as winners because they're cheating every time. Bushi and Hiromu seem like they were just thrown together. And I mean, what's Roppongi 3K even doing now?
Right. I mean, I feel like there's a great job of building up Roppongi 3K.
They did an amazing job
and then
building
they
them
just
up.
like threw it away.
Yeah, they like. Why did they have them go over the Young Bucks and take over this mantle like they're the next thing in the division? And then, I mean, they seem so much less important right now than they did a month ago.
Yeah.
I mean, significantly. I'm not like crying.
Maybe they're waiting for them so they can split them up, and feud them together.
Yeah.
So they can break out, show us a new top junior.
I don't think that's what they're planning to do for a while.
We only do that over here. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I think it'll be a while. But yeah, so I mean, Desperado and Kanemaru pick up the win. Unfortunately, I almost feel like they're gonna do this again. You know what this feels like?
It feels like KES, LIJ, and
War Machine last year
from December. Yeah.
So you think this is going to stretch to Don Taco?
Maybe. I don't think they announced a match for Don Taco.
They didn't, but I wouldn't.
It feels like it might go to Dominion though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ooh. So I mean, these boys got to get.
They do love footing. Yeah, you're right. I can see that now.
So I don't know. I hope they don't. I hope they like bring some focus to what's happening with this division. Maybe they just realize there's no division.
Right. I mean, yeah, that's not. I mean, with Show and Yo, I mean, they're pretty much just clean everybody out. I mean, they already cleaned everybody out before they won the title.
Yeah, like everyone's gone.
They're
Ricochet
like
left. ACH left. They're not getting the dates from the Mexican guys all the time. So it is a thinner division.
There's no Red Dragon.
Yeah, Red Dragon's gone.
Yeah.
Time Splitters is gone.
Yeah.
Like, Roppongi Vice is gone. Yeah. It's a lot of teams. And then obviously the Young Bucks are up at heavyweight, so that's done. Like,
exactly why they need one tag division.
Yeah.
Do you think do you think it's too soon to move them up to heavy?
Who?
Roppongi 3K.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They need something, because if they go, like, there's literally like
They very rarely move junior tag teams up to heavyweight. I mean, it took
Young Bucks forever.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
So let's get to the meat and potatoes of this card. We got 3 really big matches at the top. Let's start off with the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship with your champion, yours and mine, Will Ospreay, taking on the villain, Marty Scurll. Let's talk about this match.
So what do you think, James?
I thought it was a great match. But the finish, was so anticlimactic to me. They clearly had a story told, and it was a story that was given to them by virtue of what they did in the match, and then also I guess what you call that terrible, horrifying bump that he took on his head and doing that Spanish fly from the apron to the floor, and then you throw in what was supposed to be like the near fall that he had for Scroll, where he gets a tombstone, or the second tombstone. He stomps his head in left and right. You're thinking this might be a ref stoppage, like
that was a really vicious spot.
Like almost along the lines like the Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn thing, and you're thinking like you have to stop this match, award the title to Marty Scurll, and then Will can come get it at another time or live to fight another day. But then he fired up and hit him with Oscar Cutter and won.
Right.
So like for me, I was kind of like, don't get me wrong, like there are plenty of matches that are still great after going past the peak, but I felt like this one like really hurt the story of the match. Like there are still stories like, for example, Gargano and Almas in NXT Philly. They went past the peak.
Yeah.
But it didn't like completely kill the match off. And for me, like watching it, I felt like you were given, unfortunately due to circumstance, like you were given the situation, and I know they were, they had Kushida there doing commentary for a reason, but sometimes
Sometimes you gotta call it
On the
audible.
fly, yeah.
Yeah.
And they could have ran Skrull versus Kushida easily.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, I've seen Ospreay and Skrull several times. For me personally, I think the best match of theirs I've seen was the one from Rev Pro at High Stakes, like 2 years ago, 2016. Yeah, 2016 High Stakes. This is right up there with them. Also, the match they had at Progress. They've had a long-standing feud.
Right, yeah.
I think we proved on this show emphatically early on that this whole
Ospreay not beating Skrull. It's like,
the Ospreay's never beaten Skrull is some Andre the Giant, never been slam crap.
Yeah.
Or some Moolah held the title for 30 years crap. It's not true. But in recent years, that's become the story because every time they faced off across different companies, whether it was Repro, Progress, Ring of Honor, and now New Japan, and then other companies as well, they booked Marty Scurll to be the guy on top. So I think the whole point here was supposed to hypothetically be this was Will Ospreay's chance to step out of that shadow, get the big one-on-one singles win.
Yeah.
And really prove that he is just as good as Skrull, because Skrull's had his number for years, apparently.
Yeah, I mean, also they clearly had this Kushida Ospreay program in mind. Like even
Oh yeah, this is a stepping stone. It's like they want to blow off the feud, move Marty to the side, and establish. They're really trying to establish Ospreay as the guy now that Ricochet's gone.
Right, and I mean, pretty much the whole story of Ospreay, I mean, it's kind of been like a redemption story.
Yeah.
The whole, never beating Skrull. He finally beat him. He won the title at Wrestle Kingdom.
Right.
And now, people say it's a fluke that he beat Kushida, so he wants to prove.
Well, him and Kushida, they've had incredible matches. The one at Invasion Attack in 2016 is just around WrestleMania weekend. That one was awesome. With that being said, he never beats that dude. And the one time he did beat him, it was like a fluke. And then he lost the title right back to him. And Kushida proved that he's still the better guy. So for him to step out of all these guys' shadows and prove he's the best junior in the world,
He's got to beat him.
He's got to beat him.
Yeah.
But James brings up a brilliant point that sometimes when a match gives you lemons, you got to squeeze it and make lemonade out of it. Right. And they were given this incredible moment. I'm not saying I know.
Well, okay. So for me, watching, seeing for me, I think the Kushida Ospreay match is meant for Dominion, right? So you have another big show between it and Dontaku. So you could have, in theory, moved it over. Maybe you just don't want to cloudy it or whatever else, or plans or whatever else. But maybe you do the situation where look, that dude is clearly has a bad neck or whatever else, saving for Dontaku, and then have him basically get rid of Skrull, whatever, and then move on to Kushida Ospreay. Maybe they just the situation was situation, and they said that he was okay. He said he can get through the match, so say you can get through the match. They're not going to change anything, but just watching it without knowing that beforehand, you just watching it thinking yeah, man, this is this is clearly the finish, and this is a big moment for Skrull.
Yeah,
at that time.
Yeah, they should have called the audible, switch of plans, and now it's questionable whether Ospreay's going to be in New Orleans this coming up weekend.
Yeah, I mean, he basically, from what Dave Meltzer said on the Wrestling Observer Radio report this today, he said that he told the doctor when they checked on him that he was fine to clear the match, finish it, but as soon as he went back to the back, he was in excruciating pain. And this is
that guy.
Yeah, this is a dude who worked. I mean, we see him with cupping marks on his back all the time. He's banged up literally every night. You see the style of wrestling he works, and for this guy to be in excruciating pain,
yes, it says a lot.
Yeah. With that being said, WrestleMania is a week away. I know he has 8 or 9
bookings,
shows. Yeah. We were gonna see several of them. Several. Yeah. He was supposed to wrestle the WWN Super Show, the WrestleCon Super Show, CZW, both Evolve shows, both Progress shows.
That's nuts.
Yeah, and I'm missing something else. That's only 7 of them right there, off the top of my head.
What do you think more likely? He just no-show, he just like basically cancel all of them, or he shows up and does like the biggest shows?
I think it's likely that he is too injured to work and he just shows up and does autograph signings.
Yeah.
If he's even cleared to like travel, we don't know how serious it is or is not to begin with. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, he might just come do autographs and we cut a promo too.
I think that's another thing we don't really talk about with people, with wrestlers and their injuries, is like the travel is not like the travel getting on a plane with injuries, like that makes
fun.
the injuries worse.
Yeah.
Being in altitude and inside of cabinized pressurized cabin, like that does not help your injury. That makes it worse.
With all this aside, let's talk about the match. I mean, what did you guys think of the story of the match?
I mean, I thought it was a great story. Skrull found his body part, found the neck.
The work he did.
Worked the neck over the whole match.
Yeah. I really, really enjoyed like the work that he did on the neck. It was just a story of him continually going to the neck, but then Will fighting from underneath and doing the flippy stuff that he does and just being incredible. And he sold it well. He sold it so well. Oh, his selling was so good.
Especially in like the first 2/3 of the match. It was great selling, and then you start getting into the Spanish Fly, and you're like, oh my God, someone stop this match before they kill each other.
Well, remember there was a spot before that we freaked out.
It was crazy as well too, yeah.
Where he was on the ropes and he kicked him or something like that, and the way he fell over, it looked like his neck hit.
Yes. He rolled in one of those because the in New Japan rings the apron
is a little further out,
further extended or whatever else. So you can catch the lip of the edge of the ring, and he basically he landed right on his head, rolling out. And I was like, oh, this is so bad.
Yeah. So that was really scary. But then we ended up getting to the part that James has alluded to. We've talked about it a little bit, but like, let's all talk about like what we thought when this moment happened. So I know I'd already seen spoilers of this spot, so I knew it was coming up, but like you hadn't, and I don't think you had.
I had no idea.
I was lucky enough to learn my lessons from Wrestle Kingdom, and just like, nope, not just gonna stay away from like any like
news site.
Yeah, any news site that follows, because typically I'll be able to like kind of navigate through WWE stuff like on my phone. New Japan, those just pop up when you hit you, and you're like, oh fuck, I saw it shit for something, I just got screwed over. So
I mean a GIF.
It's an argument between either or. You let it slide.
No, I know. We've talked about this on One Nation Radio before.
Such great radio, guys. Yeah. So I lost my train of thought already. But anyway, I really lost my train of thought.
Spanish Fly.
Yeah. I had no idea what was coming, and when I saw it, I was horrified.
Yeah, dude, I saw that. I was just like, oh my God, like Ospreay seriously hurt, like ready to end the match.
I think you guys been around me enough times when like doing any of these like big matches or whatever, when someone does something nuts, and I think pretty much my like signature response is, this is so stupid. This is so stupid. Yeah. You idiots. I think I say it like over and over and over. Just like, I can't believe you guys did this.
I always think like James's reaction is he goes like kind of limp, like you gotta be kidding me, and then you just kind of see like his body, like he's gonna maybe stand up. He doesn't actually leave, but you just think like James is about to be at that tipping point, like, all right, that's it, I'm out. Like, I've had this.
sometimes it's like, dude, I can't. Like, what can I do to let them know, like, this ain't cool? Stop this. Like, y'all gonna hurt y'all. Like, obviously, he's wrestling y'all trying to, get over or whatever else, and obviously he didn't plan to do that. But like, some of the stuff, like, the one that always will stick out to me forever is like the Wrestle Kingdom Okada Omega match with the Super Dragon Pledge. I'm just like, dude, like, what are y'all doing here?
The thing is, like, those guys are already over. Like,
yes.
It's not like they're like,
and then I feel like I'm Cornette, just like, you fucking idiots. You're like, you idiots already over, and you guys are trying to kill each other like you're some like preliminary geeks trying to move up the car. You're already on top of the car. Stop this stuff. Right. Yeah, so like, I don't want to like put shackles on anybody per se, but like, I just want people to like be able to put on like the best match they can without like doing stuff like that dangerous.
Right. Like,
not to disagree with you. at all. But I think that the deal here is they were trying to have the match of the year. I think that's the only reason they did.
Yeah, like I don't really hold it against them that bad because like we've seen like Ospreay do Spanish flies off the apron before, like and it never happened. This is one of those things where like shit happens because it's wrestling. Yeah. But like there were two of them, and I was like, oh my god, like like when he rolled over on his neck, and then like what was it probably 5 minutes later is when that Spanish fly happened. It's like, dude, please take care of yourself. Like that dude wrestles that much, that often, does that much travel, goes to New Zealand, all around the world. Like, we're not going to have that dude 10 years from now at this rate.
The thing is, there was a spot in the match prior to that where he got tombstoned on the outside by Marty.
Yeah.
And I sat there and I was like, dude, this is Tiger Mask and Dynamite, like in 2018.
And I was like, if I only knew what that meant.
Like, and not only that, but like he got hit with a pile driver right after that on the inside, and Marty's safe, but it's still scary. One thing I will say was crazy about it was the first time you saw the Spanish fly botch, it looks bad, but you see it from the
replay in slow motion on the right angle.
Gosh. When you see his head twist,
his ears and his shoulder.
It's the human neck's not supposed to bend like that. Like it. Now the thing is, I'd seen the spot, and then watching it live in the match, it is still horrifying, even if you know it's coming. But then when his head started bleeding, I didn't know that happened, so I was like, oh wow. And yeah, there had already been Tama Tonga had already been busted open. He got busted open.
Cody gets busted open. Yeah. Omega got busted
open. Yeah. So I mean, there's
a lot of color.
Yeah, but this was bad. I mean, he was bleeding. It was very, very ugly. Now, it did add drama to the match, and I've gone on record and said I like when guys bleed in wrestling because it adds drama, but I wasn't happy about this because this was scary, really, really scary.
I'm okay with bleeding in wrestling when it's part of an actual story on a show like that.
Yeah.
On a big show like that. And two, when it's from a razor blade as opposed to like a hard way. Like I'm not a fan of the hard way stuff.
I'm not a fan of the hard way, but sometimes when it happens, because just like you said in wrestling, stuff happens.
Like botches, you can say what you want to about you can say what you want to about this Ospreay thing in the Spanish Fly, but like it was one of those botches that elevated the match because of the danger that was added to it, as opposed to like you just watch it and then like it doesn't take any. It's just like it was just there.
I think
it took the match to another level.
I think you talked about it and you said it reminded you of the Taker botch at WrestleMania 25.
Yeah, that's one. That's like the classic example of like a botch can also add to the level of match. Another one would be the match that was billed as like the last match between Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn at Battleground 2016.
Yeah,
where he goes to do the flip over.
And he lands on his head.
He lands on his head and shoulder and neck, and you're thinking like, oh my god, like this dude may have just doomed himself. And then Owens goes and works over his shoulder for portion of that match, and then gets that huge win, and you're thinking like, wow, they're gonna push that dude towards like a U.S. title shot. Nope, that's not for you. It's for Roman Reigns.
So with all that being said, I guess my final like reactions and thoughts on the match were that I remember many times watching it going, this match is incredible. This match is incredible. Yeah. This match is incredible. Yeah. I was more impressed in a way with this match as far as the storytelling, maybe not the athleticism, but I thought from a story perspective, this is better than the Hiromu versus Will Ospreay match, which we gave February match of the month. Mm-hmm. And I thought this was better than that. My problem was at the end, after the incredible story they told about Will's perseverance and his underdogness and all that, and then the neck being attacked, and then the actual botch, and then the bleeding, and then the ultra vicious attacks that Marty pulled out at the end when he ended up getting out of the crossface those two times and then just hits him with one Oz cutter and it ends. Yeah. I was like, this is
kind of flat.
They didn't read the situation correctly. There probably is some sort of finish that they could have come up with.
It had to be something where he had to dig deeper for something more crazy. Like we talk about in big matches, like the storytelling, and one of the elements that like these New Japan matches definitely have is like the level of desperation you're willing to reach to dig down and grab something that you won't really, maybe not really expect, like, or go down and do something like out of in the act of desperation to put somebody away. And that match had everything you want out of a New Japan, out of a gigantic 5-star level New Japan match, except for the end where like he just beats him with his move and that's it. That's pretty much it. Like if he had his, like I don't know what else he would have had to do, but if he reaches that level, I think they get that this is a match of the year type of contender. I do really believe.
I still think it's close to that. I don't think it's going to be match of the year or anything, but I think it's close.
Yeah, it's a contender.
But I think that at the end,
for 75-80% of it, I would say it was on that level.
At the end of the day, when Ospreay countered the Tombstone into a stunner and then an Oz cutter, and then that was the finish. I know that was probably the planned finish, but it fell flat.
Yeah.
It gave me the impression that the wrong guy went over entirely.
Yeah.
And if they wanted to put Ospreay over, they should have called another audible and done it a different way. Plus, like, I had a problem with the fact that he hit the Spanish Fly hit, and he started his big comeback right after that when he was clearly the one.
Did he get back in the ring first?
He got in the ring first. He got in the ring first.
They're just following the match.
They're following the match.
Moves.
Right.
They're doing the moves.
And you know, like to give Ospreay props, I think like because I don't watch him as much as you guys get to. But I thought that this was his best selling and best like character work in a match.
It's
that
up
I've
there.
ever seen. So,
You should see the match with Kushida.
Oh yeah.
Both his matches with he's had several, but
Yeah.
he's got,
That's what I meant to ask when you brought them both up before. I was like,
Yeah.
are there there two like how many wrestlers would you say in the world are better than both of them?
very few.
Yeah.
I know that's the point. Like so, when you're like, I think that you like they had incredible matches. Like, well, yeah, like these are like two of the maybe these are two of like the 10 best wrestlers in the
And
world.
even in like the Hiromu match, there was some great selling from Ospreay.
Yeah. He gets a lot of flack for not being a good seller, but over the past years, he's been one of the best sellers.
Yeah.
His selling in this match was unbelievable.
If you do flips, they don't think you can work. You can
Right.
sell.
What were your final thoughts on it, Jeremy?
Match of the year contender. I think the wrong guy won. I think Skrull should have won. Ospreay needs to take some time off and just heal.
Take the title off him?
Take time off, but yeah, take the title off him too, and just take.
What do you think? Best of the Super Juniors, crown a new champion
How far off is that?
next
in
month.
May.
You could do that.
You could do that.
In a month, he might be healed up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, I was at you guys were what 4.5 each.
I'm in between 4.5, 4.75.
I'm at 4.5.
I'm at 4.75, and there was just the nitpicky things that I didn't agree with that brought it down. But other than that, I mean, this was an incredible match.
Yeah.
So thank God Ospreay lived. Hopefully he is fine. He did call out Kushida at the end of the match for a title match.
Which is also another amazing thing because that dude's wig split gushing all over the place and he still even has the wherewithal to cut a coherent promo.
It kind of reminded me of the way it coagulated and he stopped bleeding though. It reminded me of Sean. You know how Sean's matches, he always just bleed real bad in the
Then
beginning.
he would stop.
And then he'd stop, and by the end of it, he wouldn't be bleeding at all. And it reminded me of that bit.
All right, so next up, we had a special tag match with Cody and Hangman Page taking on the Golden Lovers, Kenny Omega and Kota Ibushi. What do you think about this match, James?
Yeah, score one for the bad guys. Score one for the bad guys. Like, Cody is taking his road of being the I feel like he might be, for my money's worth, from what I've seen from him, I feel like he might be the best for heel in wrestling.
Yes, dude. I'm right there with you.
Yeah,
he's such a slimy douche.
Yes, cause the thing is, he feels like he's an entitled prick because, he's playing, some of this stuff is off his dad's name and his family's name. He used to be a WWE guy, so he was up there, kind of around, top guys for a good run. So, he got some money exchanged around, saved up if he, was doing some saving, and then, he comes out and, he's in a weird way, he's Dusty Rhodes, but he's Dusty Rhodes in Ric Flair, where it's at a point to where it's I have more money because I was on the big shows, brother. And then he comes out here with the mink on and everything else, and then he has his beautiful wife, and it's he just rubbed it in your face how well successful he's been in his life, and you got been wrestling in the armory for forever. It's almost like he's watched being the elite, and he goes and he rents out he goes to Aspen and rents out that nice ass cabin. And I know y'all hate it. I know y'all hate it so much. I love it. And I will say say what you want, like because of the New Japan stuff and the Ring of Honor stuff, and like the styles or whatnot, for lack of better word, styles, and the way most of the guys outside of WWE work. To get themselves over, like they don't work that WWE style where it's more methodical or whatever else. So like when you add that with him and then like all the heelish stuff he does, like, and given the fact that he's such a good athlete, like he can, like when he wants to, with the right guy, like he can tell a really compelling story in the ring. Like for perfect example is the Ibushi match at Wrestle Kingdom. Like
yeah,
I love that.
I love that match to death.
Yeah.
I love that match to death.
It's a great match.
I love that match.
It's underrated.
Yeah.
Like I love that match to death. Like all the cheating, like all of the sequencing to avoid the knee. Like I love that match, and he's. It's weird because a dude that came out and got into the Indies and became a star immediately, and like, it's been almost 2 years now.
Yeah, about.
Yeah.
And like his game is like continually growing. Like even when you go back to from where it was with when he was fighting Okada in Long Beach show, like it's still
he's better now.
Even better
he's
now.
way
That's
better.
my point.
Yeah.
And like you call him 3-star savior all you want to, ha ha ha, but like. He shows up in the marquee, people come around, and people will show up to boo that dude.
He's a superstar.
Right, I mean,
he feels like $1 million amongst all this
if you
other
look
stuff.
back of what happened to Ring of Honor's business, I mean, you had him as world champion in main events, and they were breaking house records and selling out shows, and merchandise is up, TV's up.
Yep.
Because and another thing is like he's really polarizing because like. If you ever followed around Cody or saw him in WWE, like he's a likable guy, a very likable guy, and he always wanted the best for him. It just didn't work in WWE, at least for the time being, in his first run. Hopefully there'll be a second run. But if you're not of that knowing him, you just think like, why the hell is this dude getting this opportunity? And that's why he works. It's like he's so polarizing.
Right.
So like he's making the best of what he's been given. I really enjoy this, and I love all the work that's being done, like for like that whole entire breakup situation with Omega. Like I loved it. So like I really enjoyed this match, and I said before, yesterday we were watching this, so like. How is Cody going to cheat to win this match? Cody needs to cheat to win this match. And sure enough, he got it in. I was like, see? This is great.
I think part of it, too, is, and it's it goes right along with what you're saying, James, is just the fact that there are these guys that work these other styles. And, with Omega is great in many different areas, but where he's maybe not as great as Cody, he's not as great of a character. He's a great character in New Japan,
right?
But it's not like you can take him and drop him off in WWE and him have the same character he has and it's going to fit in. You take Cody Rhodes where he is right now and drop him off in WWE, he's probably a star.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so there's this dichotomy where there are the whole 3-star savior thing, they're playing into that.
Right, absolutely.
Because what makes Kenny great? It's his athleticism, it's his star quality match ratings, his striking, and his the crazy bumps and all that. The storytelling that he does in the match,
and I think also the pace at which he works.
His pace is higher than anybody else's.
I'm not saying that he, because he gives you a proper amount of time to sell. Absolutely, he absolutely. I don't want it to come off as I'm saying like he's just a guy that goes boom, 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 boom. Not at all. Like when it's appropriate time to sell, he does that. But like what I'm saying is like
his work rate.
It's time for him to get in all of his flashes of offense. His flashes of offense come so fast and it's so compelling but sometimes this is not often, but sometimes not everything registers because like all of a sudden it's like V trigger,
dragon suplex.
You're like whoa,
yeah,
right. But like I think once they finally get this match with Cody, I think like you'll be able to feel like he can do less. And it can still mean more potentially.
Yeah. Well, I think almost.
I don't think he has to go crazy to have a great match with Cody.
I think the Jericho match slowed him down a bit and actually made everything he did matter more. That's
another. Yeah, that was another one too.
Yeah, but with that being said, then you take the dichotomy of this guy who's this best bout machine.
Right.
And then you got this WWE stooge, 3-star savior, freaking heel,
Right.
who had everything handed to him because
Yeah.
he's literally piggybacking off the work of his dad, who was the son of a plumber, who had to like struggle for everything he got.
Yeah.
And it's just a beautiful story, like, and these two guys are making all the money in the world playing off of their face and heel dynamics. It's Dusty and Rick all over again, just on the international indie scene, and people are really actually bought into it. People are like, yo, fuck Cody, I'm Team Kenny.
Right.
So and I'm trying to figure out how I can wear how I can get this this American Nightmare shirt without like having to wear anything that involves an American flag, and two without having to argue with Rich about why I got the shirt because he knows because you know how much he loves Kenny. He thinks that I hate Kenny,
right.
and I'm like, nah, Kenny's incredible. Kenny's the second best wrestler in the world, and when I say that, he's like, nah, bro, he's the best wrestler. So like, I can't really win with him, so I'm trying to do that without avoid him. Basically, I'm saying I'm scared of Rich. That's basically what I'm saying. I'm intimidated by Rich.
And you know Rich hates Cody.
I know that. Why? Because he's getting in the way of letting Kenny shine, even though like
Yo.
Kenny's clearly like inching
I
further
kind of
away.
hate Cody right now too.
I hate the character
Oh, yeah.
Cody.
Oh my god,
He's
awesome.
he's a slimy
he's a
heel.
POS.
Yeah,
He's a POS.
He's a douchebag. Like, this guy's out here making new Bullet Club logos, like telling the Jackson brothers to work
But
singles.
he's something really great, and I also want to figure out how to get a shirt custom made that says like TYB equals TLB. The Young Bucks equal two little bitches. Like, that was incredible, man. He's just bad. He's evil.
The way that he like edited that video, and he's like,
Yes.
Yeah,
and I was
man.
like, this dude.
He's so evil. He's such a great heel, and that's why I love to hate him.
And his wife's fantastic too.
Oh, yeah.
She's so
pretty.
good.
That promo she cut on Jay White. You should throw your hat into the intergender ring. Because she's like, yeah, I'll kick your ass.
No, the best part. No, another one was when they're walking the ramp towards to the Wrestle Kingdom match. She's like, and if you don't, we're the best in the world. You don't think I'm the finest woman in wrestling? I'm like, oh my god, this is incredible.
Yeah, she's like, and if you don't agree with me, you're just a simple mark.
Yes.
And then she's like, ha ha ha.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is like the evil Macho and like Elizabeth.
Everything they do everything they do is like so well thought out. It feels like,
because they're like,
and I appreciate that, because I mean, don't get me wrong, like, I think most good wrestlers do that, right? They like, whatever, maybe the story is not the greatest in the world, maybe the opponent's not the greatest in the world, but like, they try to put all the stuff together to make it make sense and to make it present up, like, make you feel like there was some real thought put into this stuff. But like, Cody right now, given the platform he has, like, he's been given this ball and he's really ran with it.
yo, he's a hustler,
in a way that when I thought he was gonna go in these, I was like, I'm not sure, but like, he's done so much better than I thought he ever would have.
There was a lot of doubting, like he could go the Jack Swagger route where a couple big indies and he disappear.
No,
but yeah, he really turned things around. I mean, even in the beginning when he was like doing Impact and Ring of Honor at the same time, finessing both those companies.
Yeah,
because like, his character, like, I thought his wrestling would actually be better than it has been, at least early on. But like, I didn't know he was gonna have the character. I didn't know he was gonna have all this stuff down. It's like, think of all the guys that, obviously spots are spots, and I believe guys should be slotted in WWE because that means wins and losses would matter. But just imagine like the amount of potential they have in that locker room. Which you already know, like, they already have still maybe the best roster in the world when you kind of that number of guys that can have that many quality level of matches. But like, imagine if they were able to actually go out there and like they treated like it's the attitude era back in the day where it's like everybody is trying to basically shoot their own shot to get on and become giant stars, and like
Cody's doing like
they
he's doing the little things that make a guy separated from everybody else. Like when last month for
he still scenes and focus. Yeah,
for like those Ring of Honor shows when he came out and he had leader on his gear.
Yeah,
and it's like yes, or like when they start wearing the muscle belts and he's like, first time anybody's ever done it. No one's ever done this before.
Right.
Or like he comes out and he's got Brandy on his boots, and he's got himself on the boots.
Barry the Bear.
He's got Barry the Bear, like, and now he's got whatever the business bear. I don't know
the other bear. Yeah,
I'm not too much with that, but still, like and then when he bleached his hair,
the Ring of Honor.
This guy's doing
Kiss
like
the Ring.
This is all stuff that, like, when we talk about characters from like the 90s and the 80s, and you're like, oh, you know, Macho Man had this, or Ric Flair had this. That's what he's doing. Stuff that is like memorable. $1 Million Man had his title. Like, that's the kind of stuff that this guy's doing, and it's so smart. Like, this is like one of the. It's just incredible. So you guys want to talk about this match?
Yeah, let's get We spent like 20 minutes talking about Cody.
Oh yeah, but
I like this.
I guess the thing that sticks out in the match for me is like I love how much like Cody and Kenny hate each other's guts.
Yes.
Yeah.
So much, and I also love how much like not only does like Cody hate Kenny, he also hates Kenny because like he's hanging around Ibushi and he's still so mad about what happened to Wrestle Kingdom. Right. Like it's so good. It's so good. And then Hangman's there.
Well, like
he does stuff.
It goes back to like power struggle, just like when Cody was told by Kenny, just like he's hands off, don't touch him, and like just the fact of
I'll show you hands off.
Someone telling him not to, like someone trying to tell him what to do is what this feud is all really been about.
And like something Cody said too, you know, he was second to Randy Orton in Legacy. He's not going to be second to anybody in another group.
Yeah, not after you've been world champion. Like how you gonna be the world champion and get told not to challenge another wrestler by a guy who's not even the champion? Like, you know what I mean? So we've actually talked about how many times there's several times where like Kenny's clearly the face here, but he has some Hoganisms in this feud.
Yeah.
How like he's kind of been in the wrong a lot of times, but he comes off as being right because he's Kenny. Right. Just like Hogan used to always come off in the right.
Yeah.
Even though he was being a dick.
Yeah.
Well, Cody does more evil stuff. So
Cody's clearly
evil. Yeah. Cody's clearly the heel in this situation.
And I mean, it goes back. But obviously we're getting the build to Ibushi and Hangman, Supercard of Honor, and then Kenny and Cody, which is going to be probably the main event, I assume.
Yeah.
Like what's going to top that?
I thought all four guys did awesome in this match.
Yeah, I mean, I want to give some shot to Hangman Page. He's a guy that's gotten a lot better in the last year.
If he's not a contender for most improved of the year, I don't know who is. He's one of the like top 4 or 5 guys that's improved this whole year.
Yeah, I mean he's really been picking it up and getting a lot of single opportunities in Ring of Honor in New Japan. Really, he's stepped his game up.
The match with Ibushi is going to be awesome.
Oh yeah.
I really liked the storytelling in this match. They teased the one wing angel with the table spot.
A cracked table. A table that was already cracked.
He did that to Okada.
Yeah.
But in the build up to the Okada match, he put Okada through a table with the one winged angel. But
they've also been teasing this one winged angel.
They've been teasing this spot for a few matches that they've had now. So it's kind of like you're guessing it's probably gonna get paid off.
Yeah.
But the double team moves, obviously, like the Golden Lovers are just incredible. They've been on fire all month ever since they got back together. Ibushi, Cody's just being a heel, and Hangman's out there doing flips and doing crap that guys decide shouldn't be doing.
Mm-hmm. What do you guys think of the Young Bucks spot where they have Kenny laid out on the table, and it looks like he's gonna give him a splash from the top rope, Cody, and then the Young Bucks come out and they're like, dude, you're taking this too far.
Right. Yeah, I like it. I thought it was great storytelling, this whole rivalry. It's starting to show because the Young Bucks they're in the middle of this thing. Like
they're the kids in divorce.
Right, and so now we're getting to the breaking point now, and like the Young Bucks are going to have to make a decision. Like, are they with Kenny or are they with Cody?
And I think we know which way both guys are kind of leaning. It seems like, which kind of sucks, but we'll get to that. We'll cover the new Being the Elite before this night's through. But let's talk about this finish. So, so they ended up putting Kenny through the table. How did they end up putting him through that table?
Wasn't it?
I'm blanking right now.
Yeah.
I'm looking through the notes. All I know is that Kenny got put through that table and his back.
Oh, he took a disaster kick and then Hangman Page gave him a big boot.
Yeah, he got big booted. He got right on, and he went straight through that table. And luckily the table broke. That Japanese gimmick.
I am the table.
Yeah.
That's why I am the table.
But
that's exactly what those Japanese tables are. Just tables that just will not break for you unless you hit them in a perfect spot.
But yeah, his back was all busted open. That was like the third or fourth like hard way of the night.
Yeah.
Oh, and we didn't even talk about Cody's hard way.
Oh yeah.
Cody was bleeding everywhere.
The cut reopened from what show was that?
I don't know which show it was, but it was the match with Matt Taven.
Yeah, wasn't that Mayhem in Manhattan? No, it was the Las Vegas show. The
anniversary show.
The anniversary show. Yeah, with his match against Matt Taven.
So they reopened that cut, and it was bad. I mean, real bad. It kind of reminded me of Dusty during Starrcade, like 85 or 86, the one that Joe Frazier stopped the match.
So it's number 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, the second one. And then I remember the promo, because I actually watched that match one time, and I remember the promo afterward. He's like, he has the towel wrapped around his head. You can't see his eye, and he comes the promo like, I'm going to get you for this. Like
Joe Frazier?
Yeah, like his promo, like, it's going to be a match between him and Frazier. That's funny. But yeah, I saw it and I was like, dude, this is one of the above the eye cuts. This is not good. Like, I thought it was like, wait a second, chill. This is a wrestling match. It's not a boxing fight.
Right.
You know, if it was
He's gonna lose his eyesight.
Yeah, like if it was boxing, I'd be like, ooh, this is bad.
It's not like Kenny's coming from the right with like right hooks.
Yeah,
right.
Or B-trigger.
B-trigger to the eye.
Oh, but yeah, it was really bad. I mean, that you just never see blood in New Japan. I mean, we saw it at Wrestle Kingdom, but it's few and far between. I mean, there's a lot of blood on this card.
Yeah, it's rare.
Which really elevated the card to card of the year status.
Yeah.
No, I'm just playing.
I mean, well, as a contender, I mean,
it's definitely a contender.
Obviously, Wrestle Kingdom is the best show of the year so far, but Sakura Genesis.
This is the best show we've seen since Wrestle Kingdom. It's better than New Beginning. It was better than the Anniversary. Better than all the New Japan Cup shows. Better than Strong Style Evolved. I mean, this has been a great show, and this match was one of the matches that elevated it. So we ended up getting Cody Rhodes with the win. Basically, Paige distracted Ibushi. And then Cody rolled him up, grabbed the tights. 1, 2, 3. What did you guys think of this finish?
The best part about this finish was James jumping up his chair and laughing in Rich's face. That was the best part.
Yo, Rich went like this.
Rich was so... You
guys can't see what I'm doing, but it's that international hand system for what the crap.
Yeah, it was almost like, have you ever seen the what the fuck face from Obama on the podium, and it was like that,
or like the McDonald's girl or whatever. Like,
oh yeah.
Yeah.
This is the perfect finish though, because you really couldn't have any of these guys looking weak or taking the big fall.
Yeah.
So
got a sheet to get them. Yeah, sheet victory.
And also the match was at a crescendo, 22 minutes. It didn't feel like it'd gone 22 minutes. It hit this high mark. Cody freaking does the cutoff, pulls the pants. Kenny's laid out. It was the perfect way to finish the match, and you would think with the numbers game that they would beat Ibushi and hit him with the nope, roll up.
Yeah.
and one thing I appreciate about that is the rest of the card, there was really no other funny business. So it wasn't like the
except for the Yano match.
But at least there were the faces that were cheating to win.
Yeah, that was so far in the beginning of the show.
We make this weird exception for Yano to do all the weird wacky shit he does with all the low blows and taking the turnbuckle padding off and whatever else, and then throwing people into the exposed turnbuckles. But at least for the matches that quote unquote mattered. That was the only one with that kind of finish. So it kind of felt it didn't feel like, oh great, another way to extend this thing as So yeah, I thought it was creative for the time, and it was appropriate.
Nice. So we're heading into the main event here. Yeah. So I mean, obviously we know what's coming up. Next week is Ring of Honor, Supercard of Honor. We'll be there. We'll be giving you guys reports of that match as well as all the other New Japan coverage for the different shows we're seeing.
Yeah.
But this brings us to our main event.
Yeah, the IWGP Heavyweight Title match: Okada versus Zack Sabre Jr.
I was very excited for this match. What were your thoughts when you've going in all week? What were you thinking, Jeremy?
Well, I mean, they did such a great job of building up Sabre in the New Japan Cup. I thought it'd be an interesting challenge for Okada, especially when you look in the backstory that he hasn't tapped out in so long. It was Nakamura was the last guy to tap him out.
Just one time his whole career. Against Nakamura.
Yeah, only tapped out once. And
that was a flash submission, if you remember that match. He went for the Rainmaker, got caught, and when the match, because they were stablemates when the match was over, he looked at Nakamura dang it, like you got me, like oh, I can't believe you got me.
So it was like Seth Rollins when he got eliminated by Roman Reigns.
Kinda.
Yeah.
Oh, you sly fox.
Yeah, you sly fox. I can't believe you pulled that off.
God, I hate that so much.
So yeah, they did a great job building up Sabre. Obviously, Okada's already well built, so it was a new great challenge for Okada.
What were your thoughts, James?
I thought that this match was, for full disclosure, I'm not much of a fan of Zack Sabre Jr.'s style. He did more striking than I expected in the match. Yeah, which that was a nice mix up of things at certain spots in the match. But again, it's just for me, like, that's just not my speed. It was really, 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 really well wrestled match. But just from the some of the layout of the match, like, that's not necessarily for me. So like I can't really love it. Like, I've seen other people love it, but like if that's your style, like I'm sure people really, really enjoyed that match and probably have it really well regarded. But for me, probably have it like a solid 4, but like I'm sure there are people that have it higher than that. Like
I'm much higher on it than that. So what I enjoyed about this match and what really stuck out to it was that they told basically a cohesive story from the Naito match all the way to the Tanahashi match, which was basically, and this has kind of been like a running theme throughout Zack Sabre's career. If you can employ a pro wrestling style match, or you can employ your strikes, he can't stand up very well to strike. He doesn't. He's vulnerable to high impact moves and strikes.
Right.
So his way of like overcoming that is he ties you up every time you try to do anything.
Right.
Yeah.
Every time you try to do anything, and he's got a counter to every single move that you have.
Right.
So essentially,
he's playing keep away from you all the
He's
time.
playing keep away always. Yeah.
We saw him
and keep away is like the exciting offense. Which is kind of like what? Which is kind of like he can never be like a real thing for me. But like it's hella smart, and from a perspective of from a tactical standpoint, like if this weren't fake sports, like this makes all the sense in the world.
Right.
But I just like different.
What do you mean
things
fake
about
sports?
Wrestling is a predetermined exercise.
No, this is New Japan Pro Wrestling. It's the king of sports.
Yeah, it's the king of fake sports. Yes.
And we saw like in a couple of the Road 2 shows when Okada and Sabre were in there, Sabre was already showing that he had the counters to a lot of Okada's offense.
That's one of the things with Okada is that typically speaking, anytime he wrestles a guy before the match, even if they get the better of him, quote unquote, he is so astute and such a prodigy and like studious that he'll figure out the way to overcome what they're offering him,
right,
just by those few interactions with
just
him.
Like with Sonata.
With Sonata,
he didn't know Sonata's game plan, but those
with
couple
Naito.
multi-man matches, he learned Sonata's game plan for that match.
Yep, so that's kind of how he comes up with his game plan. So what I thought was really excellent about this was, and they mentioned it during the match, was that Okada has this background in Lucha Libre wrestling.
Right, yeah.
And I don't, like, nowadays most people associate Lucha Libre with, like, the style, like, Psychosis, Mystico, and Mysterio, the high flying.
Yeah,
the
high flying and no selling, yeah.
Right.
But it wasn't like that always. If you go back to the 80s and you go back to the early 90s, yes, they did planchas, but for the most part, they were not doing what Rey Mysterio changed the whole game, basically. Mm-hmm. Prior to that, it was like chain grappling, either that or like bloody brawling for like hair,
hair versus mask.
Yeah.
But the grappling was a lot was based like almost like a faster paced World of Wrestling type of deal.
Yes, like
gory specials, the flip and the arm drags and all types of crazy stuff like that.
Right.
Well, that too, but they'd also have these ground battles that would be all over the place, and you started to see him employ his submission wrestling game in a way that, like, the only guy who even had any like positive so like we saw with Ibushi was able to employ strikes and toughness, but he couldn't handle the grappling. The only guy who handled the grappling at all was like Sonata. Mm-hmm. And Sonata has a background in Lucha Libre as well, and he showed some of that same kind of game. It almost, like, it sounds so funny, like if you were just watching WWE, you wouldn't think of wrestling this way, but like in New Japan, they tell stories like this where it's like you almost wonder, like,
styles make matches.
Yeah,
was he studying Sonata and seeing what worked for Sonata to figure out how to put together a game plan to help him defeat Zack Sabre Jr.
Yeah.
And then eventually, once he was able to kind of like twist and turn the moves into his own submissions, he eventually was able to start working out of submissions and turning them into wrestling moves.
Right.
High impact wrestling moves, so that he changed the whole complexion of the match, basically. I thought it was just a really, really, really well told story with.
Yeah. And also in like typical Okada fashion, like once you get to the end, like the end is incredible. So
Yeah, Okada has the best finishing sequences.
yeah, I don't know how he does it, but like the end of every Okada match is like it's almost like you know in Super Mario Brothers, like you hit the star.
Yeah.
Yep, you're
Like
invisible.
that's like the last like 10 minutes of every Okada match is like that, and I'm just like, how does this dude put this stuff together? Like it's so incredible.
I thought one thing that was also awesome was the arm work that Sabre did
Yeah.
on
Yeah,
Okada.
working on the Rainmaker arm.
And he had to sell it the whole match.
Yep.
Straight up, it reminded me of Andre versus Hansen. How Andre works Hansen's arm the whole match so that Hansen
Yeah,
can't hit him with the lariat.
That's funny.
I also really like the drop kick spot where he caught the drop kick.
Turn to STF.
Yeah.
James called it before the match even happened.
I knew it was gonna happen. I was like, I thought it was gonna be an ankle lock or whatever.
Yeah.
But like, obviously, you know, it's Sabre, so of course it's gonna be something way more.
You're a jerk though, because no one's ever countered it that way, and you're like, you're just gonna catch the drop kick.
I mean, that's what he does. Like I said,
Right.
like his thing is like he plays keep away. So like,
Yeah.
what is Okada's thing? Like when he brings it, like he picks out the perfect time to bring out that beautiful drop kick, and you're like, of course, like Sabre is a genius but you know, the genius for what he does. So of course, like I'm sure he thought about doing that for years to Okada.
Yeah.
Years.
Dreaming about
right?
it.
He's like, I can't wait till I get the opportunity to like pick this dude's foot out of the sky and then put him in a hole. And sure
Stretch
enough, stretch him.
Yeah.
And sure enough, that skinny wimp was able to do it. And like, I mean, if that's your thing, like you're in love. For me, I'm just like, that's your thing. Cool, like, you know, your clock control offense, or whatever else. You're trying to keep Peyton Manning off the field. I just like to see Peyton Manning on the field. That's all.
So back in the old school like MMA days, there used to be this thing called Sprawl and Brawl, and it was something that like Mirko Crow Cop and also like Chuck Liddell were masters of, where you know they were probably good on the ground, but they wouldn't fight on the ground because they were stand-up guys. So they would employ a defense where their defense was basically keep anytime someone tried to take him down, sprawl, keep the guy down, and then throw strikes.
Yeah, stay on your twos and then throw these hands.
Basically,
Right.
and that's kind of ultimately what ended up winning the match for Okada, was that he was able to basically turn all of these tie-ups and stuffs into high-impact offensive moves, and eventually he was able to. It was basically like turning the entire strategy that Zack Sabre Jr. had going like up through the whole tournament on its head, because he was turning all the counters into his own counters with strikes and high impact moves to where this guy's body couldn't stand up and take it.
Yeah.
And then eventually he worked his way into a Rainmaker, and that first Rainmaker was so weak.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was necessarily. I at first thought it was Sabre selling, like maybe he didn't know how to take it well. But then I think it was just the story of like his arm was so weak.
I think it was both. Like I think he didn't sell it well.
Yeah, because the last two, he got hit like down the chest. Yeah.
But it also seemed like Okada wasn't lifting high enough the way he normally does and really following through. And it might have literally been the fact of like his arm was like weakened, and like maybe just the way I see it, like another higher caliber star, like say a Naito, might have been able to take those Rainmakers and been fine.
Yeah.
But like Sabre couldn't because like he's a like a more fragile guy, and also Okada made him strike with him towards the end of the match.
I think that was one of the smart bits of the match. Was like he got him so frustrated he couldn't put him away with all the vice stuff that like he was like
rope-a-dope.
I'm gonna finally throw some hands. And like, oh, you wanna throw hands? All right.
Right.
You made one like you made the tactical mistake that like is your undoing. And I thought by the end of it, like I thought like yeah. Like, it was a really, really good story. The finish is the ending is very, very, very good. Hell, not even good, great, flat out great.
Yeah.
It was just to get there for me was just kind of a It kind of drug for me to get there.
And that's the thing with Sabre, man. I mean, he gets you in those holes, and he'll keep you there.
He'll sit there. He won't give a fuck.
Right.
Like.
I think the shock of the first Naito match and the Ibushi match was like, wow, we were like blown away. But as you keep seeing the same thing over and over again,
it starts to lose the luster.
Yeah, it starts to lose the luster a little bit. But even still, this match I was like at 4.5 on it. I think it's another top-notch match for Okada. I think Sabre, they turned him into a star in the span of 2 weeks, which is just incredible. And they can go to the well with him again later on when they need to during G1 or afterwards. They've got a guy, and he's like an attraction. He can go away
and come back
and do this crap all over again, and we'll be shocked by it again when
Another thing, like, he'll be able to wrestle forever.
Yeah.
Right.
He'll be able to wrestle
safe style.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, okay, so here we are with Okada now. We're 11 title defenses in. Longest title reign ever in the history of the freaking company. One of the best title reigns in the history of the sport in general. And out comes Tanahashi.
That's right. The ace comes out. You know, even though he lost to Sabre and he lost to Suzuki and was injured, he still came out and threw out a challenge because he doesn't want Okada to break the record.
Yes.
So I mean, I started to kind of criticize this a bit, and Rich and James were like, oh, well, you know, it's the ace. He can come out just like John Cena can come out.
Yeah.
But apparently, like, we watched the Okada promo afterwards, and everything that I was criticizing is exactly what Okada said. Okada was like, dude, you don't deserve a title shot against me. He's like, you lost your belt. You didn't win the tournament.
Got injured.
You got injured. You're
called
hurt.
that man boring.
Yeah, he said he was boring.
Yeah, like, you haven't, like, you think of it, I mean, and the perfect thing is, like, you have done nothing to deserve this shot. And then he's going to, you know, along the build up, he's going to give him this gigantic, like, shot, and, like, we'll see what Okada has to as far as dealing with that or whatever else. Like, this might be a bullet mill saying for old basketball players is, like, once you pass your peak and, like, you're close to being, like, fully washed up, like, when it comes to NBA playoff series, like, guys that are, like, in their, you know, early to mid 30s, like, they have one bullet in the chamber, meaning, like, per one, like, competitive series, they can reach back, dig deep, and give you one all-time performance, right? Like, one of the perfect examples would have been, like, Game 6 of the 2013 Finals with Tim Duncan, where he goes nuts. Then he ended up actually having something for him. Game 7, they just happened to lose the series. But, like, the Greats only have so many left in them to all-time performances left in them. Like, let's see what happens with between these two, because I have a feeling that, you know, they're going to go out there and have, you know, a 5-star contender, and people will have to put that whole stuff from the beginning of the year about, like, Ace possibly being, you know, on the downside to rest for now, at least, you know, until Father Time eventually wins. But, like, I don't think it's yet.
Yeah, I agree. The reality is, at this point, if it wasn't the 12th title defense, Tanahashi would not be getting this title defense. But,
Absolutely. Right. Yeah. I agree. It's all about the story.
But because the story and the narrative fits, and it's also Dantaku, and it's a show where they need something that's big enough, but not. It's kind of like those, you know, it's like a Randy Orton John Cena match. They've done it plenty of times. You're not going to headline WrestleMania with that match, but you can do a B-level pay-per-view with it,
right? And
it'll still draw because it's two big names. But it's been done to death.
To be fair, they have not done Okada, Tanahashi that many damn times.
I think they've done it more than Cena and Orton. I'm pretty sure.
How many times they've wrestled on Raws in singles matches?
I don't mean it like that. I just mean the high profile big matches. Because you know what you could compare that to? How many times they've wrestled in multi-man matches would be equivalent to like a Raw match, basically.
That's fair.
But with that being said, it's still a match that will draw. It might not draw at the Tokyo Dome, but it's going to draw at Dontaku in front of a crowd that's never seen it before. You know what I mean?
Right.
So this makes all the sense in the world to me for this level of pay-per-view, and then I expect for them to do another 5-star because that's what they do.
Yeah, I mean,
That's literally what they do every time they wrestle. It's the greatest series of wrestling matches in modern history, barring Omega and Okada.
yeah.
But they have so many more of them.
It's been going on since 2012.
both high caliber guys.
Were they at 6 or 7?
I think it's more than that.
I'm not 100% sure.
It's more than that. It's like 8 or 9.
8 or 9? Okay.
I could be wrong. I'd have to look back.
All right, so that wraps up Sakura Genesis. Now we want to go on and name our March match of the month and wrestler of the month. And I think we were pretty definitive on who the winners were this month.
For the wrestler of the month, there's no one that you could possibly go with other than Zack Sabre Jr.
All right, he came in there. They built him, like we mentioned, in 2 weeks. Took out 4 aces in a row. Got Taka Michinoku to be his hype man.
Bro, he was destroying, even on the off nights, he was destroying people.
Yeah, the multi-man matches, tapping dudes out, tapped out Ishii.
I mean, yeah, and obviously the Okada match didn't happen until April, so I mean, for March, this guy had a perfect record. I mean, he destroyed like 4 of the top guys in the entire company, got elevated to a new level. He was super impressive the whole time. His match level was, right at the top. I mean, he was in some of the best matches of the month. There's no one else you could really go with, period. From a story standpoint, match quality standpoint, he was the man in New Japan.
Right. And then for the match of the month, we're going with the Golden Lovers versus Young Bucks from Strong Style Evolved.
Yes.
That match was just crazy.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Some of the best storytelling of the year. Kenny Omega does it again. The Young Bucks do it again.
Kota Ibushi
does it again. He's like the third fiddle in that story, which is crazy.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. It's Kota Ibushi. Some other matches that we wanted to make mention of, though. Narita Yagi.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, you just put it over so heavy at the beginning.
No, I'm not just putting it over. It put itself over. It just got over with me because it's such a great match. Mm-hmm. That match is incredible. Some other runners up.
Juice Robinson and Tanahashi.
Juice Robinson Tanahashi was freaking awesome. Zack Sabre Jr. versus Ibushi, which I thought was the best, one of the best matches of the tournament.
That was my favorite Sabre match of the whole.
Mine too. That ref stoppage, and then Elgin and Ishii, which was like just a hair beneath the Strong Style Evolved tag match. But that's how good the Strong Style tag match is.
Yeah.
So there you have it, boys and girls. We got our match of the month, our wrestler of the month. We're a quarter way through the year, and this year is freaking flying by.
Yeah, it sure is. It's I can't believe like Wrestle Kingdom's like that's been so long.
Seems
ago.
like forever ago.
Yeah.
Naito's like way down on the card now.
Waiting for Jericho to show up.
Getting no crowd reaction, right?
Yeah. He's not over anymore. Y'all so petty. Y'all so petty.
So this weekend, like we've mentioned previously, we're going to be in New Orleans for WrestleMania weekend. We're going to be seeing Ring of Honor Supercard of Honor, which is a co-branded show with Ring of Honor and New Japan. We're also going to be seeing a lot of the New Japan stars throughout the weekend. So who are you guys looking most forward to seeing this weekend?
Oh, well, for me, Ace. Like, if Okada wasn't gonna be there, then like definitely him. I've seen Kenny with y'all before. Like I hold Tanahashi in higher regard than Kenny, even though Kenny, freaking incredible. But like, just Kenny's not. He might be the best. He could very well possibly, depending on who you are, believe that he's the best wrestler in the world. But like, that's cool, whatever. But like, he's not legendary yet, and like that dude's a freaking legend. Right. So. Like and he's still like a living legend, walking his prime, still or not in his prime, but like still capable of having the best match on a New Japan card at any given moment. So for me, it's Ace.
Since he already mentioned Tanahashi, which I'm firmly in the same camp, Tanahashi's who I'm most excited to see. Suzuki. Oh my God, we're gonna see Minoru Suzuki.
You're happy to see Suzuki?
Yes, bro. We're gonna see Minoru Suzuki in real life.
But seeing Suzuki in real life means that you see him in real life.
Might end up in a sleeper in a gotch.
Yeah, like I said to y'all off air, that like if not for the fact that like Ishii's there, I wouldn't feel safe being in the same building as that man.
Right, and that's one guy I'm really looking forward to seeing is Ishii. I've never seen him live before.
Oh my god, we're gonna see Ishii, bro.
Yeah.
And he's going against Saber for the Rev Pro title.
You know who I'm excited to see? And I know he's not a New Japan guy, but Daisuke Sekimoto, bro. Oh, we're gonna see Daisuke Sekimoto. You guys just wait till you see this dude. Wait, I think he's wrestling Keith Lee in the main event.
Yeah.
That might be the best match we see all weekend. I almost guarantee you it's gonna be one of the top
I'm
2
not
or
even
3.
gonna bother making any predictions for what the best match I want to see out there because it's so like we went last year and like what's on tap this year blows away what we had last.
This is the best WrestleMania weekend ever.
Yeah, like between I don't know what happened. I don't know why they don't fuck with us in Central Florida or whatever else. But like 29, like this, to talk about the stuff that was happening at 32 in Dallas, and then what is talked about in New Orleans, kind of like, well, what the hell happened?
They were better, yeah.
Like, why did we get the shit in the stick when the shows like the biggest show of the year is like. In wrestling is like literally a hop and a skip away from like where I stay. Like what's so bad about Florida? I don't understand.
Because everyone was depressed because Daniel Bryan was still injured at the time.
Oh yeah.
So rundown of the shows I'm going to. I'm going to Bloodsport on Thursday at 2:30. I'm going to WrestleCon Super Show, which I think all 3 of us are going to be on that.
Hey man, don't be telling people where I'm at. Like, you want to tell on yourself, but whatever else, and fine. Like I'll be in the New Orleans area.
We'll be watching the Rev Pro match, which will be headlined with Ishii and Zack Sabre Jr. for the Rev Pro title. We're going to WWN Mercury Rising, which is their super show. I'm going to be at Joey Janela Spring Break later that night. Saturday, we're going to the Shimmer show. I'm thinking about going to the Progress show. Maybe the Wrestling Revolver, we'll see. Miko Satomura is going to be on that Wrestling Revolver show, so I've never seen her before. We're going to be at Ring of Honor Supercard of Honor. Kaiju Big Battle later that night. Sunday, we'll be watching NXT replay and going to WrestleMania. We might be going to the wrap-up party, just depending on how things turn out.
Yeah.
Plus, UFC was the night before, and it's one of the biggest UFCs of the year, so, I mean, it's a huge freaking weekend.
So feel free to, like, given that Josh told you where he's going to be, feel free to run up on him, like, in these streets, if you feel so. So, there you go.
If our fans want to picture with me and they want to...
That's not what run up on means. That's not necessarily, like, run up generally has a negative connotation.
With the smoke.
If they want a picture and they want an autograph, I mean, I'm down.
Whatever. With the hands.
Then I'll pull guard.
Okay.
I'll pull guard and we'll just lay there.
Oh my gosh.
And we'll see who's really tough.
Alright, so today New Japan released a lot of the upcoming big title matches. They're going to be coming up later this month and in May.
These months are stacked.
Yeah, so Wrestling Dontaku, there's going to be 2 nights in Fukuoka. There's also going to be the Wrestling Hinokuniya, I guess that's how you say that. I have no idea.
We don't know how to pronounce it.
In Kumamoto. And so, we already talked about it, but headlining night 2 of Wrestling Dontaku is going to be Okada versus Tanahashi for the IWGP title and the title defense record on the line. The semi-main event for night 2 is going to be the junior title, Ospreay defending against Kushida. But with the neck injury, that match could be off. Also that night there will be Kenny, Kota, Bad Luck Fale, and Girls of Destiny against Cody, Hangman, Skrull, and the Young Bucks. On night 1 of Dontaku, we have Omega versus Hangman Page in the main event in a rematch from Wrestle Kingdom with Ibushi and Cody. Also on that show, the Young Bucks and Marty Scurll will challenge Bad Luck Fale and the Girls of Destiny for the never open 6-man tag titles. We have on the Wrestling Hinokuni, there's continuing the rivalry between LIJ and Suzuki. We have Naito challenging Suzuki for the Intercontinental title. Evil and Sonata defending their tag titles against Lance Archer and Dave Boy Smith Jr. Takahashi has a one-on-one match with Kanemaru, and Bushi has a one-on-one match with El Desperado. And then there are also been 3 title matches announced for smaller shows on tour. Takahashi and Bushi will be challenging Kanemaru and Desperado for the junior tag titles on April 23rd. Jay White defending the U.S. title against David Finlay April 24th. And then on April 27th, Hiroki Goto will be defending the never openweight title against Juice Robinson.
So we've got many different title matches we're building to. It's an exciting time, several different shows. We'll be giving you guys some previews and things like that as we get closer to the dates. Also, the G1 dates were released during the show. Do we want to go over that real quick?
Yeah, real quick. So G1 will be starting at July 14th in Tokyo. Then you got July 15th, July 16th, July 19th, July 20th, July 21st, July 22nd, July 26th, July 27th, July 28th, July 30th, August 1st, August 2nd, August 4th, August 5th, August 8th, and then coming down to the last 3 nights, the A Block Finals, August 10th in Tokyo, B Block Finals, August 11th in Tokyo, and then the finals, August 12th in Tokyo. All 3 of those shows happening at Budokan Hall.
Yeah. So, I mean, in the past, they usually finish at Sumo Hall, but they're doing renovations this year, so they'll be at Budokan. From all the reports, it seems like Ibushi is now going to be allowed to perform there.
Yeah.
After the lifetime ban that he received in the past. Did you hear about that?
No. Yeah, he got a ban for doing the moonsault from the
he
balcony.
Moonsaulted off the balcony.
They told him not to do it.
When he wrestled Kenny Omega in DDT years ago, they told him, like, hey, we watched your tapes.
How many years ago was this then?
Like 2012.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a much bigger star than he was then.
Right.
Well, they told him at the time, they're like, hey, we know what you like to do.
Don't
do it here.
Anyway.
And he did it anyway. So, from everything...
honestly, like, for all we know, he didn't even have that plan until they brought it up to him.
Right.
Knowing Ibushi.
Right.
Yeah, so I mean, they're doing 2 nights in Edion on August 4th and August 5th. It looks like they're running bigger arenas and cards than they have in the past for the G1. So
yeah.
I'm expecting this to be a really, really good G1. As we get closer to the dates, we'll get more cards, things like that. What else we got?
This week, the New Japan free match of the week is Nakamura versus AJ Styles.
Yeah, James, your favorite New Japan match. Mm-hmm. And guess what? It's free on New Japan World.
You know what's funny? That was my first time ever watching AJ Styles wrestle.
Wow.
What?
That was my first time ever watching wrestle. Like, he was almost like back in the day, how like you listen to like football games on the radio. It was like you heard about like Jim Brown, and Jim Brown sounded like he sounded like this 6'7" dude that weighed like 300 pounds. It was like fast as lightning. Like, he sounded like a myth. Like, AJ Styles was like a myth to me. Like the big, like almost like back in the day when you were younger and you would watch like you had like PWI and you would see all these different guys from different areas. You're like, dude, like look at the list. You're like, dude, like these dudes, like Ultimate Dragon, like who the hell is that guy? And then you finally see him, that kind of thing. Yeah, like that's what it was for me with AJ. Like I knew about what was happening with Bullet Club and everything, and how he was the champion. And then the Nakamura thing, I was like, this dude is like everything that he was ever like built up to be that I ever heard about him. Like,
the crazy thing was
and the next thing you know, like right after that, he goes to WWE, and then like he immediately has like one of the greatest critical years in WWE history. You're like, like imagine how many years they wasted like in WWE, like with waiting on AJ to get there, and also like Joe. Like, you imagine like how, if they had showed up there like 5, 6, 7 years before this, like what could have been with them?
Oh, it would have been amazing.
Yeah.
And what else we got? So obviously, guys, that match is free. It's on New Japan World. It's also on their English YouTube channel. Mm-hmm. There's no reason to check it out. We're going to see this match next week at WrestleMania. Do yourself a favor and check out the first match that happened, and you can kind of tell for yourself whether hopefully the WrestleMania match is better. I hope it is.
If it's better, it's 5 stars.
Yeah, it's going to be 5 stars. That was one of my matches of the year that year. So
yeah, like I mean, it didn't get 5 stars, but like for me, I would in my mind it was 5 stars.
I liked it better than the Okada Tanahashi match personally.
Same here.
Yeah. But I'm in the minority.
I was more impressed by that match because like I had never seen like that was I had never seen.
You never seen
that.
The phenomenal one.
Yeah, right. And I was actually almost wore a AJ Styles shirt up here today. I decided against it. Save for the
Mark.
Save for New Orleans.
So we're gonna talk about being the elite.
Yeah, you're not gonna put over like the shirt I'm wearing right now. I'm wearing a Dora Milaje shirt.
I didn't understand it.
Milaje. Yeah, man. Okoye, Ayo. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God. Okay, I get it now.
The Wakanda Royal Guard.
Wakanda forever.
Yes.
So Being the Elite episode 99 dropped today. I'm just continuing to hype up some storylines for Super Card of Honor. Oh, we saw Marty Scurll got to live out his dream and do a boy
Too
band.
Sweet.
The Too Sweet boy band. With the 4 Sweet for You album.
The 4 Sweet for You.
Yeah.
And they're like, we look great. And he's like, I'm so excited.
Yeah.
We look so cool. And like, the only one who's into it is like
Hangman Page.
Hangman Page is like. The rest of them, like especially Matt and Nick, are like, "What are we doing?"
Yeah.
But those are good friends. They're good friends willing to
help
make
this man live his dream out.
making their friends' dreams come true. They started the basically the show with the interaction between the Young Bucks and Chase Owens and
Yujiro Takahashi.
kind of trying to like smooth things over and say they're just gonna go out there and give a good show for the fans.
Right.
There's no heat between them, that sort of thing, and. You kind of got the feeling that like Yujiro and Chase had other plans.
Right. Then there was also the whole thing we saw on Twitter. Cody said there was going to be a new Bullet Club logo. We saw that storyline play out
Yeah,
here.
you see that? That Cody said he was retiring the classic Bullet Club logo.
For more heat, huh?
Yeah. So it's
much
And
heat.
then okay, so I heard that there was like a mock-up, and it may have not have been an official one that he's putting out or whatever else, but like
We saw the official
with,
one.
like rings or whatever else, or no?
No, what happened? It was like the skull with like the blonde Cody hair.
He had blonde Cody
and
hair.
The crossing were the cigars.
Yeah, the
Okay.
cigars had rings on
Had
them.
American flag like rings on them.
Yeah, like American flag, and it just looked ridiculous.
Yeah, so they played that storyline up. The whole thing was like Cody.
Although it kind of like seemed like maybe they might release like a limited amount of them and make money off of it.
Right, yeah, so Cody like contacted Pro Wrestling Tees and was like, here's a new logo. And then like they contacted the Young Bucks and were like, you need to approve this.
Yeah, they basically told Cody, they're like, well, we can't really print this unless we get approval. And he's like, approval? What do you mean approval? I am the approval.
I'm the leader.
I'm the Bullet Club.
Yeah. And then
He's technically right. He is the Bullet Club.
and actually it was Masa who told them about the logo thing at first. He's like, Cody's changing the logo, and they're like, what?
Yeah, they're all like, what?
And then Fat Masa was like, Cody's fucking crazy.
And then there was a scene where Chase kind of came up to Kenny and was like, hey, I got this match with them, and I know that they just came off the match with you. This is a really big opportunity for us. What do you think we should do? And he was like, well, whatever you do, can you kind of protect Matt's back? We're supposed to be brothers out here, and like I feel bad about what happened in Long Beach. He's like, try to win the match. Beat them if you can, but it's a big opportunity, fight to win, but try to take care of his back if you can. And so like they're trying to like tell the story where like he's still conflicted about what happened with them.
Yeah.
But then
even though he's barely in Bullet Club now as it is, right?
I guess. But then they told the story. Basically, they got to the point where like Nick and Matt started coming to the realization that they can't trust Cody.
Because Nick's like, dude, Cody told me I should go singles. And Matt's like, whoa. Cody told me I should go singles.
And then they were like,
what if he was telling the truth to both of them? What if they should both go singles?
well, he told both of them that the other one was dragging each other down.
What if that's true?
And then he's like, dude, I feel like he's trying to break up the Bullet Club. He kicked Cody out for no reason. He didn't ask anybody like if he could do that. He's like, he's telling Marty that he needs to go off and
start the Villain Club.
Start the Villain Club. He's like, we can't trust this guy.
I don't understand. All he's doing is empowering his friends to be more ambitious. I don't get it. I don't understand. Look, you guys are two talented wrestlers. Maybe there's more opportunity for both of you guys apart in being stuck in the tag division. Hey, maybe you start a Villain Club and sprout your own rings. I don't understand. I wish I had more friends that would tell me to be more ambitious to do that sort of thing. Doesn't mean I would actually listen to them, but it'd be nice.
James, you should go start your own podcast.
Don't do this. Don't do this.
James, I don't know if you know this, but like you're the real talent on that show.
Rich is holding you down.
Hey, all this
Could be yours.
Think about it.
You know what?
You should go singles.
You should go singles.
You know what? I think we'll discuss this off there.
So, Cody also this past week off the air, he had the public apology where he apologized to Nick and Matt and the entire Massey family for his actions and that he was mistaken. He also had that Facebook Live interview session with Ring of Honor. He had the fire promo that he cut after Strong Style Evolved. Like, this guy's been just freaking killing it. Like, we've already covered it, but like, dude, these are all things. If you haven't checked out the public apology or these 2 interviews he's done, this dude's on fire.
And then this past couple days, he flamed Disco Inferno on Twitter.
Yes, he damn sure got that disco fever.
Oh yeah, he killed him.
Yeah,
So you guys tell me what happened there,
Yeah, let me see if I can.
because you guys know I'm not really on Twitter like that.
Cody posted a picture of the cut that he from above his eye from Genesis, and then out of nowhere,
Yes.
Disco decides to hop into this thing.
Yeah, so Disco goes, nobody knows how to work anymore. They would rather kill each other to get Dave Meltzer to put their match over. That is a problem.
What?
That is a problem that needs to be put front and center. Guys are going to keep getting hurt.
So, like, Kenny responded, and Kenny was like, and to think, someone along the lines
He goes, to think I was trying to find gaps in my schedule to do your show. So much for that.
Wow.
yeah, that's the first thing I saw.
Yeah.
And then next thing I know, Cody responded. And Cody
I saw
came
Cody's
with,
response.
with like the white hot flame. The white hot flame.
Yeah, I saw him basically like just kill Disco Inferno.
Yeah. It was, and then Conan also chimed in and said that Disco was wrong. Like pretty much, like everybody has hopped in and said
He basically said like
Disco, you're just wrong.
He basically said that Disco was just like a beefed up dude who was never like relevant
used to
in
be
any
on the
way.
ass.
So here's what Cody said. He said, stop. You know nothing. You've drawn $0. No fan has ever left the show thinking about you. You were lucky to be a juiced up double lifer over with the boys type in an era where you hid in plain sight, coasting on other success. Couldn't hang then and can't get booked now.
Yeah.
And then later he says, I take no pride in ending that man's career with a single tweet.
Yes.
This whole we're doing it wrong, I know how to do it right. They're exposing the business. That logic itself is exposing the business.
Yep.
Don't let the bitter have a place in your world. Conversation is done.
Yes.
The funny thing is like Cody has his on-screen persona and then he has his off-screen persona, which is still just a persona.
Yeah.
And it's based in more real life, but it's still just an extension of his heel character, and it's so brilliant.
Yes.
Like he just got himself over by burying somebody, like rooted in reality. But this is what the reality era is.
Because
supposed
like
to be.
Cody is like the best heel in pro wrestling right now, but at his heart, like anybody that's like followed that dude kind of knows like that dude's a pretty stand up good guy.
Yeah.
So like that's why like it works. That's why he can like get away with it. It's almost like no, I'm not going to say that because not too much political damage. I was going to say something along the lines of Uncle Hunter, but no, I'm not going to do that. Uncle Hunter's right here stroking his ego, getting those young dudes over. Yeah. Can't wait to beat them dudes in like 10 years at WrestleMania.
I don't know if you
He'll
guys
still be wrestling 10 WrestleManias from now.
Since we were talking about being the elite, I don't know if you guys saw the Uso or the Young Bucks talked earlier this week, and they said if they could wrestle anybody that they're unable to wrestle right now, who would it be? And they said they want to wrestle the Usos.
That's cool.
And
I mean, you kind of expect that. Like, I mean, there's been over the years, like the Young Bucks have kind of been like for whoever was like the hottest tag act in WWE,
right?
That whether it was a New Day or the
Revival,
yeah. So it's always been kind of
or a New Day.
Yeah, they said that they wish that there's a way that Ring of Honor, New Japan, and WWE would just work together and just make it happen because they think it'd be the best tag team match that they could make out there. Fun fact, they actually were asked during the interview, didn't you wrestle them at one point during one of your tryout matches? And they're like, yeah, we did. They're like, we went out there. They said, get in the ring. We wrestled them with no like foreknowledge that they're going to wrestle. This is like years ago, like 09, 010. Yikes. And they wrestled the Usos one time and they lost via body splash. So, like, I never knew that match even happened.
Same here. And then one interesting thing I want to mention real quick. Rocky Romero did an interview. He was talking about the freedom that New Japan wrestlers have. He said, we all have creativity in New Japan. We really have free reign there. Character-wise, you can do whatever you want. You can say whatever you want. There's no restrictions to anything. That's why you've seen these funny, mean videos of Tama Tonga and Tangaloa cursing up a storm. There's nobody to tell us that we can't. Really, to work with such a big company and to have that much freedom is unheard of. I didn't have to separate things or compartmentalize and say, okay, well, I'm going to use this for this. So, pretty much just talking about the freedom, the difference in New Japan and WWE.
Yeah. Like, I mean, people have talked about this for years. Like, you know, the layout's pretty much for what goes into a New Japan match, pretty much. Gedo and Jado tell you this person goes over via the move, whatever move or whatever sequence or whatever else, and then the rest is for you to fill in and for you to use your talent. In WWE, you have Vince does the same thing, but then also you throw in the
agents.
You have the agents that are producing the match, telling you how to get heat, how to get into your shine, what particular moments are going to stand out for you to tell the story in the ring, and you have like a number of guys. I don't know how many people there are, but like there are. Let's say there are a dozen, somewhere between. There are like 8 of them, or whatever else, and you tell like. If you watch enough of their TV, you can tell like which producer produced which match. If you can pull them out of a hat and figure out like put it to who, or if you just want to put letters like this is producer A, B, C, D all the way through, and be like that person does this match because like they all have staples of matches like, and whoever is
turnbuckle spot.
Yeah, and whoever's doing the women's matches, they love like the leading thing into the finish of the match is somebody gets their head thrown into a turnbuckle. So there's plenty of that right now, and like pretty much anybody that's calling every Sheamus or pretty much every tag match, somebody is going between the ropes and hitting their shoulder onto the post. Yeah.
Yep. So I mean that's pretty cool that we got kind of like some insight to the creative freedom that they get there.
Yeah.
Just a couple things that I think we wanted to touch on before we go here because I think we're just wrapping up.
Yeah.
Vader. We've been talking about how he needed surgery just last Monday. He needed open heart surgery.
Yes.
And we got a health update on him.
So what's the news?
The news is he survived, and he's doing well, and he's in recovery.
Awesome.
So he sent out a couple different tweets over the past few days. He was quiet for a while this was all going down.
Yeah.
But now that he's out of it, he sent out about 3 tweets. He did say, "Fear no man, feel no pain. I'm sorry to say that feel no pain is a bunch of BS. Worst pain I've ever been in. Even worse than getting hit in the back with a shovel by real Mick Foley." He also said that my heart continues to beat. Thank you for all the well wishes and prayers. The surgery lasted nearly 7 hours. My pain is immeasurable. There were 10 clogged arteries. I'm so grateful to be alive. God bless you all. And then his last statement that he had essentially was that it'd been 5 days since his surgery and it had been some of the worst pain he's ever had to endure. The hospital staff's been great, excellent, and his surgeon was fantastic. He's grateful for the life that he's had and the opportunity to continue to live. Thank you, Jesus. And so he seems to be in good spirits.
Seems like it's time.
So he's not in WWE Hall of Fame yet, is he?
No.
He needs to go in next year.
He needs to go in the Hall of Fame.
Before something
gets
happened.
worse.
It was already
Yeah.
touch and go. Like all throughout the year, we knew it was touch and go. Like there were words that like Bam Bam Bigelow was going to be inducted this year, but they decided to hold it off probably because of the New Jersey connection for next year.
Yeah.
But like
he needs to go
Vader
in.
or somebody needs to go in because like Vader was a star and a great worker everywhere he went except WWF. Right. And part of it is because of Vader's penchant for kind of wanting to do things his own way, and another part of it was like that
that style.
the top guy kind of was nonplussed with him, and Vince and Sean at that time had a lot of stroke with Vince at the time.
I mean, here's a real stat about Vader. If it doesn't solidify his career for you, he's the only man ever in history to hold the world champion in 3 major companies on 3 different continents at the same time. He was the WCW champion, he was champion in New Japan, and he was champion over in Mexico. Actually, no, I'm sorry. He actually ended up holding the WCW title, but before that, he was champion in Germany. Fritz
von Erich?
No, Otto Vahn's territory. He was the UWA champion, which is one of the 2 biggest Lucha Libre companies, and he was the IWGP champion simultaneously. He held world titles in UWF, WCW, All Japan. Like this man's a legend. Like
and he lost an eye in the match and popped it back in.
Yeah. So we're glad to hear that he's doing well, and we hope he continues to recover. And nothing but good things for Big Van Vader.
Yeah.
A couple other things, just real quick. So we got some notes back about the Strong Style Saturday show. Remember when I said I thought that Scorpio Sky probably went over Rocky Romero?
Yeah.
He did. 13 minutes and 46 seconds with the Ace of Spades. They also had a match with Dave Finlay and Juice Robinson where they went over Tyler Bateman and Brody King, who are both training in the LA dojo.
Brody King, I watched him on a MLW show.
He's awesome.
Yeah.
So is Tyler Bateman.
Yeah.
So those are two guys that are both training in the dojo. So look out for them. Roppongi 3K defeated Andy Brown and Kushida. So, really good. And then they had a bunch of other ongoings at that show. A couple other things. So we know that they're running a show for CEO here in Daytona, and then they just announced the 2-day UK tour that they're going to be doing Strong Style Evolved UK next or in July, the end of June, beginning of July. Well, someone pointed out on Twitter, or actually on Reddit, that the CEO show is the day before the tour, and so they either have to split the roster or they have to literally get on a plane as soon as that show's over to go over to the UK. So it seems like they're probably going to be splitting the roster when it comes to this event. We do not know now that Kenny Omega, Kenny Ibushi, and the Young Bucks will not be in England.
So they'll be at the CEO.
So they're probably going to be at the CEO show here in Daytona, which we're still trying to figure out ways to get tickets for that.
Well, tickets go on sale, I think, at the end of this month.
So whatever we got to do to go see New Japan live, I'm down to do it. We just got to figure it out. Aside from that, there was a couple write-ups on NewJapan.com that were worth checking out. Tanahashi just did some awesome charity work for he was visiting sick children in the hospital, doing charity work, and they did a really awesome article piece on that. You should check it out. Also, New Japan just came out. I don't know. Did you guys see that April Fool's match card?
Oh yeah, with Eevee versus Evil.
Eevee versus Evil. Eevee from Pokemon. So that was, but the weird thing is, for New Japan, that's not that weird because they did Masked Horse,
right?
And they do weird, they do stuff like Tiger Mask W, and
Tiger the Black.
Yeah, so you kind of almost believe that someone's gonna show up in a an Eevee costume and actually wrestle, but thank God that was just April Fool's joke.
Yeah.
Just
Ibushi would do it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And then finally, there was a really, really awesome article that I read today that's on the New Japan website. Okada talking about the new LA dojo, and he'd actually trained in the old LA dojo back in 2004.
Right, the one that Samoa Joe and all those dudes trained at.
Exactly, yeah. So they were kind of asking him the difference between, a wrestling school versus a wrestling dojo, what New Japan plans to bring to the wrestling world as they expand their influence and expand their style of wrestling and kind of try to imprint that on, American wrestling as well as internationally and abroad. Well worth the read. It's really insightful and, it's really good stuff.
All right, does that wrap up the news?
That wraps up the news, and I know you want to give a couple shout-outs, right?
Yeah, I just want to give a shout-out to all the Reddit users who have been recommending our show. There have been a lot of people asking for New Japan podcast and the New Japan Reddit. Yeah,
there was news this week that fellow New Japan podcasts, the Purocast from Voices of Wrestling, they called it quits. We were big admirers of their show and their product. They're pretty much like the forefront when it comes to fan podcasts with New Japan, and someone that we kind of competed with, but we listened to their show and always like to see their insights, and a lot of people subscribe to them, and they're kind of gone. Hopefully, I don't know, maybe like Terry Funk, they'll come back.
Right. Well, Colin did say that on Twitter. He's like, remember, Terry Funk retired more than once.
But before we ever decided to do this show, I listened to them for years because there's not much coverage out there, and they're one of the more consistent ones out there.
Right.
There's plenty. The way that our numbers went up this past week, I can only assume it had something to do with people trying to fill that void.
Right.
It had to be because our numbers skyrocketed out of nowhere.
Filling the vacuum.
Yeah, it have to be. We don't really know those guys personally, Colin and Damon McDonald, but hats off to them. Those guys have done excellent work they've been covering this thing for
120 episodes,
like 3 years, and they were always super insightful. They're kind of gone, but there have been many of you guys out there that have been, pimping our show, telling people about it, putting the word out there,
putting us over.
Putting us over huge, and we appreciate all the positivity. I am still waiting for the guys to be like,
you guys suck,
you don't know what you're talking about, but we haven't really gotten too much of that. It's been nothing but positivity, and if you're listening for the first time, welcome. We're glad to have you, and we hope you stick with us. Anything else?
That's it. James, you want to give any plugs?
Oh yeah, if you are listening to this podcast, be sure to check out the other podcasts on on this feed as well, like the show that I do, One Nation Radio with Richard Latta, and also Ricky and Clive. And I don't know, you want to say it, or I don't know the situation, but like SMC or whatever SMC is right
so
now.
I mean, the SMC podcast is finished for right now.
They're going to be venturing into other ventures. We'll still be involved with them in different capacities.
But we're expecting a new show to be debuting, I believe, this week, The Outsider's Edge, with Rance and Carl. So we're looking forward to that.
With that being said, where can we find you?
Oh, you can find me on Twitter at James187, where I talk about things that aren't professional wrestling mostly. Like, yeah, it's funny. Like, I actually had a Twitter account for the wrestling thing, and then I was like, I'm just gonna be me. I don't have time to go between either or. Like, I talk about wrestling, I talk about pop culture, I talk about sports, I talk about politics, race, whatever. So like, I can't really make that many Twitter accounts try to follow through all that stuff. Like, you get what you get out of
James is well rounded out here.
Yeah, so,
Right.
Oh God.
Unlike me, I'm just a mark. If you follow me, that's all you're gonna see.
Wow.
All right, so Jeremy, you want to put in our plugs? Because I don't never know.
Next week we'll be giving you guys a recap of our trip to New Orleans.
Oh my God, I'm so excited for freaking New Orleans.
Super Card of Honor and all the New Japan matches we'll be seeing that weekend. So thank you for listening. Make sure you connect with us on social media. On Twitter, the show is at KI Strong Style. We're at Social Suplex. You can follow me at Jeremy L. Donovan. On Facebook, we're facebook.com/Social Suplex. You can join our Facebook group, The Wrestling Squared Circle. Facebook.com/groups/Wrestling Squared Circle. Like we mentioned, check out all the other shows on the Social Suplex Podcast Network. And don't forget to subscribe and leave a rating and review. So until next time, goodbye and good night. Bang!
Thank you for listening to Keepin' It Strong Style. We'll see you next time.